Welcome, everyone. In 2015, a new legal way to play poker opened at a small club in South Austin, Texas. A chance for poker players to go from the back rooms, the undergrounds, and private games, and into the mainstream as a safe, legal home to play the game that we all love. And long before that, a man by the name of Chris Moneymaker shocked the world in winning an $86 satellite, which would later lead to besting an 839-player field to win the most prestigious tournament in the world, a 2003 WSOP main event, sparking the poker boom and the rise of televised poker. We are honored tonight to bring you TCHLive to you all around the world, and also bring you the man who helped jumpstart the game as hope for the common man that you too can compete with the best players in the world. So we welcome you, old friends and new. This is TCHLive. Welcome, everyone. My name is Mike Youngwood. Pleased to be joined with you here on the stream. Here on YouTube, we welcome all your new subscribers who have popped up recently. Tonight, this is our first of 5-day event here at Texas Card House here in North Austin, as we are hosting 2003 main event champion Chris Moneymaker, who will be joining this game shortly. Currently playing some mixed games, some round-and-round action here at Texas Card House, and what you see on your screen currently, 5-5, no limit hold'em, at the beginning here of TCHLive. And what a way to start is Yanni in the 9 seat with a pair of aces. Under the gun, Judd here with King-Jack offsuit, and going to make the opening raise. A small raise to 15 here in our 5-5 no-limit cash game. Yanni's got the first decision to make is, all right, just how big are we going to make the re-raise? And he'll pop it up to 75, one off the end of the gun. We'll fold it around and see if he gets any action here on the 3-bet. Is Hart in seat 4, going to call out of position here with King-Queen offsuit. Judd's going to get out of the way. Steve also here with King-Queen of diamonds as we go 3 ways to our first flop on TCH. A couple of aces against a couple of King-Queens. And our flop. 10-5-3, a diamond flush draw here for Steve in seat 6. And first act out of the small blind. And he's got to anticipate that a bet's coming, and we'll see a bet of 125, just about half the size of the pot. And he'll come along here as we go heads up to the turn. Now, Steve is probably also opening the idea that, Yanni could have ace-king, he could have any kind of random hands, as a king could be a very dangerous card for him here on the turn, as he's turned top pair with a queen kicker. And Yanni's going to move in here for 300, as both of these players, with a pair of kings, top pair on the board, is Hart in an even more precarious spot. There's no redraw, but again, he has top pair. Probably feels like, okay, there's at least a good chance I've got a part of this. And now Steve has the opportunity to make this pot significantly bigger if he wants. And he'll keep it easy here with a call of 300. So any other further action on the side? Pot's grown to $1,500 and a 6 of diamonds on the river. A flush here for Steve, and he's going to check. Try to see if he can induce a bluff out of Hart. Now, Hart might be thinking about a value bet here, too, because he's figuring any worse king is going to get called. Maybe if he has a hand like Queen-Jack. And Hart's going to show it, and that will go to Steve there with the king-high flush in our first hand here of TCHLive. Kind of one of those where the stack sizes there, Yanni just doesn't have enough to protect his hand.
You know what? Let him hold the hand. If you're not in the hand, please don't talk about the hand.
And he will push the first pot here of TCHLive. And Chris Moneymaker will be joining us a little bit later on at about 20-25 minutes. if you want your opportunity here to play with Chris, you can certainly do so this weekend, as tomorrow we've got a $15K guaranteed re-entry tournament for $150 starting at 12:30. $150 gets you a 25,000 chip starting stack with the levels at 30 minutes. And you can re-enter into that up until level 9. So, plenty of time if you want to get in a little bit later for all of those folks who kind of like to sleep in on your Saturday. And we will be streaming the feature table and the final table here throughout the day. So that will still be determined as far as when we will start that. But as soon as the final table gets going, that for sure will be broadcast here on TCHLive. Sunday also, here on January 5th, a No Limit Hold'em Mega Stack $100 buy-in with a $200 bounty on Chris Moneymaker and your chance to win a free t-shirt if you're able to knock him out. Also on Monday the 6th, Chris Moneymaker hosting a 5-5 PLO game. And we'll wrap up the TCH Celebrity Poker Series on Tuesday the 7th with a Big O and Mixed Limit Cash game. We are super, super fired up to have Chris Moneymaker here in the house. Now we move on to our next hand. Yanni going to rebuy into the game here for 500. RSJ there in seat 10, looking at ace jack. Likely for bringing it in for a raise, and we'll open for 25. Let the action tracker catch up here. The rest of the table is so you see our game here on TCH is run by those RFID scanners at each of the players' seats. And that information is being relayed to a producer to verify that the cards are being read and being read correctly. And we are also broadcasting this on a 30-minute delay. So as I'm seeing it here in the back TCH studio, and Mike got a seat 5 in the cutoff at called the pre-flop raise with Jack 4 of spades as they go heads up to a 9-8-7 with 2 hearts flop. Both players with an inside straight draw to a 10. And we'll continue here with a C-bet of 40, bet and a call. Mike has also had the opportunity to try to make a move on the pot of the turn if he so chooses, but see if SJ continues with the best hand as he'll fire out a turn bet of 65. Check that. That's a bet of 90. That's the 3 green chips and 3 red chips. As Mike will muck and a small pot being shoved there to seat number 10. As we move along here, the next hand at 5-5, no limit hold'em, uncapped. Players can buy in for as much as they choose. So as you see the chips there on your screen, the red chips, the $5 denomination, the green chips, the $25 denomination, and the black chips, $100 a piece. You may also see the pink chips of 500 as we go on, as the game gets a little bit deeper. But we're expected to run this stream for about 4 hours tonight. And excited to see what kind of action we have in store here for 5-5 no limit. Bryson will muck his Jack 9. Hart's going to give a call here with ace 9 offsuit and the ace of diamonds. Mike here with 9-4 is Steve. Also will limp into this here with 9-8 offsuit. And it looks like we haven't gotten a raise, that was initially to 50 by Steve in seat 6. And we'll get no action on that as a couple of limpers, a small pot to take down as you see the chip sizes there. Steve with sitting with 5,400. Mike there with 3,006. Yanni with the low stack on the table after the rebuy for 495. So just a round of effect of 100 big blinds sitting in front of him. Moneymaker with his chance to play also in the 1-3 no limit cash game. And, you know, for him as a guy, as former main event champion, has served as more of an ambassador to the game. So he's traveled all throughout the world, promoting poker, being a part of poker, hosting, and there's a lot of responsibilities to it. And there couldn't be a better guy for the job. As a lot of raggedy hands on our third hand here, as Bryson will get no action on his queen jack offsuit, and we will move along to the next hand. Well, here at TCH North Austin here tonight, a couple of 1-2 no limit with bomb pot tables going. We've got 1-2, 1-3 no limit hold'em tables open at this point. This 5-5 no limit, and also 1-2-5 round of each of no limit hold'em and pot limit Omaha, also happening here at TCH. And if you want to be a part of the action, you can visit us here at 13376 North Highway 183 here in Austin, Texas, the heart of Texas here, and give us a call at 512-956-7195 to contact the front desk and get on the list for any of our terrific games that we have here in house tonight at Texas Card House. Heart gonna open here to $15 with the Jack-8 of diamonds. Steve with a reasonable Queen-10 offsuit. Also going to come along, and we have got a raise on the button here by Yanni with Ace-Queen of diamonds. And with the kind of hands that he's going up with, they're just the ideal play as he 3-bets it to 60, and we'll get 2 callers as we go 3 ways here to a flop. Flop comes Ace, King, 3 rainbow. An inside straight draw for Steve, and Yanni with top pair with aces and a queen kicker. Heart with not much is going to get checked here to Yanni, and he will check back and set the trap. And off we go here to the turn. A blank 7 doesn't help anybody. Yanni a 9-1 favorite at this point. See what his sizing is going to be. Is he's going to bet 45 as check to him on the button. Neither player going to look him up, and we'll send some chips back his way as we continue here on TCH Live. If you want to chat with us, you can certainly do so here in the chat box. For those watching us here live on YouTube, Bill just saying, hey, this is awesome. Can't wait to play on this table.
What year?
Rowan also saying this is a very good-looking table. Got to agree that as we've seen this develop over the past half year into an idea into something tangible, it's just been really special to watch every step of the way. And we've gotten a couple of dress rehearsals to understand all of this technology and make sure that we're using it effectively and safely and creating an environment for you, the player, that wants to come in and play. Well, Hart's going to have a $10 straddle. We'll expect to see plenty of those here this evening. Couple of 6s here for Mike as he calls a straddle. Judd here with 9-8 of hearts. Bryson going to come along. And with the Jack-6 offsuit, and now Phil here with the big blinds going to make a raise to 80. Hart's got some ducks, some deuces out of the straddle, and he'll make a call. Mike also here with a pair of 6s. Expect Bryson will probably get out of the way with this Jack-6 offsuit, and we'll go to this flop of 4 ways. Phil's out of position on this hand, so going to be looking for the right board texture to continue, and he gets it here with Ace-8-4 rainbow. Nobody else connecting. And with a pot at 340. Let's see what Phil decides to do here as the continuation bet. A good bet here of 175. Play about half the size of the pot. Judd with the second pair of eights, and Phil, a very solid player, doesn't get too out of line. He's not going to make that bet too often without the goods. And pair of aces with a 10 is going to take our next hand here on TCHLive. Got almost 70 members visiting us here tonight. We expect that number will increase as the night goes on. It is a terrific Friday night for poker to bring in the new year. Happy 2020 to wherever you may be. Couldn't think of a better way to start the new year with the state-of-the-art terrific broadcast that we have going here tonight on TCHLive. We invite you to hit the subscribe button there on your screen as our numbers continue. The cards come out, they'll move on to our next hand.
The gods. Not the devils, the gods.
A number of these players are regulars here that we see quite often, and always happy to see them. So our action tracker showing the previous hand is expect that information is going to get updated as this looks like we've got a range to 35 and 3 players head into a flop. And the important part about this to understand for the players is they get used to this as well as the surface area to be able to read these cards is if you look there on the right side, bottom side of the screen where that rack is, it's about the size of that square with the blue dot in the middle, and that gives the ability to scan the cards and send them here to our producer just to verify that they're being read. Now that information is being relayed here to our back studio, and I'm seeing it here on a monitor, isolated on a 30-minute delay. Our phones are out here of the studio to just further ensure that players' security and all of this is maintained in the best possible way that we can to run a fair, ethical, and awesome game here at Texas Card House. So we asked the players to rescan their cards as we've moved on to our next hand of TCH. As we see Mike, very pretty Jack 10 of diamonds. Get caught up here with the rest of our players. We've got 3 locations of Texas Card House, not just here in North Austin, but North Houston and Spring, Texas. And that's rocking and rolling tonight, and also in Edinburgh in the Rio Grande Valley, a new club that we've just opened here in the last month. And excited to see how our clubs will continue to progress here into a brand spanking new decade. So we've got our cards, Jack 10 versus Ace 10 versus King Queen. Bruce with the best hand with Ace High, and flop's going to come Ace 3-7 with 2 hearts. No players with a heart in their hand. Bruce way out in front. And we'll check all the way around here to the turn. Mike's going to get an inside straight draw to an 8. Bruce with a lead with a pair of aces and a 10. See if Mike decides to gamble here. Bruce is sitting with about 3,200. I think there's a good chance maybe I could get a chunk of chips here and get a little fist pump here as the blank deuce of spades hits the river. Bruce going to try to bet for value here, but Mike's going to give this one up pretty quickly as
Sure. Can't use that trick anymore. They text me. I knew what was coming.
Again, Moneymaker will be joining us, I believe in about 10 to 15 minutes or so. He will join the table. One of many poker pros that have made a stop here through TCH in Austin. Just had Johnny Vibes Moreno passing through as he made a tour of Texas, and that was an extraordinary night to be a part of. As number of 5-5 games being run that he went table to table to talk with the poker community and share his stories and answer questions and take pictures and all the whole 9 yards. And we were certainly thrilled to have him. We've had Brad on, Andrew Nemi, Jamal Burton from the Drawing Dead vlog has also been here. We expect here with TCHLive have the opportunity to bring out some of the more famous professionals and vloggers here to join us on the table. Bruce now going to open one off the under the gun. See if we can get him to rescan his cards. As RSJ going to call with Queen Jack offsuit Bryson. Baby suited connector, 4-3 of hearts, and Phil on the button. Also going to call 20 here with King Jack offsuit. As Hard getting a nice price, and a couple of players in the pot also entering here with 7-4 of diamonds as we go 5 ways to a flop. And another ace on the flop, ace 6-5, an open-ended straight draw for Hart. Also an open-ended straight draw for Bryson. And turn is going to come an ace of spades. RSJ with the only spade in his hand with the jack of spades. And he's going to bet it. Bruce and Phil technically have the best hand with King Jack high, but the board has come out in such a way that there's really no reason for them to get involved. And the semi-bluff effective. Here for the man at C10, RSJ will take down, will add about 85 chips here to his pot.
I wish.
So you see the stack sizes is.
My grandfather had a
Yeah, I talked to Phil a little bit before we got started, and was just kind of curious because, obviously as a dealer here, as I've been a dealer here for about 2.5 years here at Texas Card House, you get familiar with how people play, and I was really fascinated to see, are guys going to play things up here for the camera a little bit more? Are they going to gamble a little bit more? Are they going to tighten up more? And because all that information is going out to their future opponents, and well, Bruce here going to limp in under the gun with a pair of 9s and hope he gets some action behind. So far, not a whole lot going on, as a couple of junky hands, a suited queen, 3 of clubs. Let's go 4 ways to a flop.
Mainly because of the price point and the amount of power.
Deuce, deuce, 6.
Somebody.
9s and deuces here with the best hand, and he'll bet 25, just about $5 over the pot. Quick, easy fold for all these players. Not much to draw to, not much to connect to.
Yeah, at least he can talk his way out of that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so my dad, after he had the 2005, the reason I bought it from him is because he had bought a brand new 2016. And that 2016 was more power than what 99.9% of everyone needs. And he wanted to drive it more, and so I was like, all right, I'll buy the...
James, our floor manager in the box, is, this is an in-house effort here by Texas Card House. Majority of our production team.
I mean, you're using 40 horsepower or less. To keep rolling.
Coming from our employees here, Carolyn, a producer, James producing, Ryan. Also Enrique also helping us out, who got this spectacular camera setup.
I didn't think so, but the way that emissions and everything is these days, like it wouldn't surprise me if they were just forced to.
So it's actually 5, 6, 3 liter.
Like I said, I would hope not.
Yeah. I had the older version M3. That was the VA. That was a little thirsty.
Little, especially with a heavy foot.
Which obviously I don't have.
No, not at all. No.
I did a chip upgrade on mine, unfortunately. I did a chip upgrade on mine.
Heads up here to a flop between ace 8 and ace 5 here between Phil and Hart. Or it's going to pair a 10. Both players have 2 pair. Phil slightly with the lead. Here with the 8 kicker, as if we see any card above a 9, this will be a chop pot as we go heads up here to the river. 7. Phil's got the best hand, and we'll show it down. This is 2 pair aces and 10s with an 8. Take down a pot of $255. So we welcome all of our viewers right now. You can join us in the chat box here on YouTube. Your opportunity to interact with us. Any questions you may have about anything going on here with the stream or with Texas Card House, we would love to hear from you. If you also want to interact with us through social media, you can follow our room here specifically at TCH at tch.atx. Again, on Twitter also at tch.atx.
It's cheaper than I thought they'd be. But they delayed that release for so many years.
5-5 game continues. And let's see, $5 small blind and $5 big blind for folks who may be a little fresh into poker. It's an awfully big game. I've got a lot of nice stacks, and anticipate the action's going to be great here tonight. Phil's going to open here with King-Queen offsuit. Mike calling him here with Ace-6 offsuit. Judd had also called out of the big blind with this mystery hand. As get a read on that as flop comes 10-5 deuce. Check around as Mike's chance to take a stab at this. Actually, it's going to be Phil that continues here with a bet on the flop with King-Queen high, as we'll take it down as turn comes at Jack. As we get caught up here on the action as Judd folding to that turn bet. And if you want to follow our TCH Rio Grande Valley location here on Instagram, do so tch.rgv. Had the grand opening around December 12th, and it is a fantastic club, judging from some of the pictures I've seen. So, you make a trip down there to South Padre Island, you want to go to the beach and warm up. Also play a little bit poker while you're down there. Give them a look up here in Edinburgh at 403 West Trenton Road, or give them a call at 956-348-2278. Bryson off the one off the under the gun. We'll race it to 20 with a pair of 10s. See if anybody decides to play with them. As Judd with a suited ace-6. We'll make the call out of the small blind as we go heads up to a flop. And the flop comes a king, a 10-3, a set for Bryson, and a supreme lock on the hand. And the board texture just enough that it's probably wise to try to make a continuation bet for the, for the guys that have that hand of ace jack, ace queen, queen jack, jack nines, and all those kind of things. Just that, like, okay, it's better to at least take a stab at this and try to get a better feel, but as we can see, the ace-6, no reason to tangle it up against Bryson's set. We've got a new promotion here at Texas Card House here in Austin, a progressive savings on your hourly rate. The longer you play, the more you save. If you play here for 5 hours straight, you can save up to 20% off. If you play here at TCH in Austin, if you play for 7 hours straight, you can save 30% off your hourly rate. And if you're a super grinder, you love those long sessions for 10 hours straight, you can save 40% off the hourly rate here at Texas Card House in Austin.
I was thinking about trying to organize on Facebook to see if we can fill the stadium up with Yankees fans.
Hart gonna limp with 9-7 suited. Mike also with a pair of 4s.
Oh, yeah.
And Bruce with a real hand, a pair of Cowboys.
That's only reason.
And a raise up to 50, and he gets called. And a couple of spots is Judd with the Queen Jack suited. We'll call him in position on the button. Yanni will get out here with his 9-4 off suit and RSJ out of the big blind with King Queen suited. Hart's also going to come along here with a 9-7 of diamonds as we will go 4 ways to a flop.
Playoff games are usually going to be
All trying to crack a pair of kings. And the flop. Jack 6 deuce, 2 diamonds. Potential problem here for Hart is he's got 9 high diamonds. Judd has got top pair and a flush draw. But the pair of kings still lead as Bruce will continue and make a bet of 150 here into a pot of about 255 and quickly gets called here by Judd on the button with Queen Jack. Hart's going to call here with his 9 high flush draw, but he's going to need either backdoor straight draw to make his hand, as that's going to make 2 pair for Judd. He's cracked kings here for the time being. And a chance for this pot to get extremely big as Bruce will slow down and check. A bet at 230. Hart's got to wonder if he wants to continue here with a flush draw. He does not know, obviously, that his diamonds are no good on his drawing dead, but Bruce going to call as well here for 230 as we've got a pot has been built up to 1,300, and it's a diamond on the river. This could be disaster here for Hart. Perfect situation for Judd and flop top pair, turn 2 pair, and then river to flush. But he might slow down as well if Hart comes out here with a river bet that Bruce most certainly going to call here as he's got an overpair. He's also got the King of Diamonds blocker. And Hart just kind of puts his, Judd puts his hand up there like, really? Could I possibly be beat here? And he'll see the good news as his Queen Jack of Diamonds going to take down our biggest pot of the night here for 2,200 with a Queen High flush. As things just got better on every street for him. As yeah, Bruce made a really cautious check there on the turn with his overpair. And it was certainly correct as you see, we are going to be joined now by Chris Moneymaker. Sitting there here in seat number 1 here on TCHLive, and what a life and what a story it's been. As we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, back in 2003, he entered an $86 satellite on PokerStars. To get into another satellite, which eventually got him into the main event in 2003. And he'll be joining us there in seat 1, and his first hand will be in the big blind. Travels all across the country, but a Knoxville, Tennessee native. Currently lives in Nashville, Tennessee, and most recently named to the Poker Hall of Fame in 2019, which was long overdue for his impact here in the poker world. I've gotten an opportunity to listen to some podcasts and try to do all of my research as far as what life is like for a legend now. As aims for more of these events just to be kind of more social, to have fun with people, and enjoy the game, and get some chuckles here as it comes to the table. Hart now, after that last hand, going flush over flush, going to open for $20 with the ace-6 of clubs. Mike with a couple of deuces, looking to flop the set as Judd, also going to take a flop with the 6-4 of hearts. And Chris Moneymaker with King 4 offsuit says, okay, there's some money out here. Why not take a shot here?
Do we have to go to the cage to get the money?
We'll go 4 ways to the flop.
No, you got credit here.
Let's put it on my account.
Flop comes 9, a 7-5. Judd has flopped a flush and a straight flush redraw with a 6-4 of hearts. Nobody else has made anything here in the hand, and he has got an immortal lock on this. Decided I'm not going to play this one slow. He'll bet 75. See if he can induce any action, and no such luck there, but you get put in a really vulnerable spot, as we can see that Hart had to go through with this lower flush draw that turned into a flush on the river. That, there is some school of thought that, okay, let's figure out just how good I am in this spot, and another Hart comes on the turn, and he's got no information. Then you're kind of sitting out there in no man's land, wondering just how strong the hand is. And we'll get a small pot there for the flush. Again, you can chat with us here in the chat box here on YouTube on TCHLive. Remember, if you subscribe here to this channel, it'll earn you a free hour of play here at Texas Card House. Hart now with a pair of jacks. And going to open here for 35. Is not uncommon to see in some of these 5-5 games. You can see the opening raise vary quite a bit in some of the games that we've seen here at Texas Card House. From a min raise to $10 to, I've seen guys open up for 50 to 60, and if you throw a straddle in the mix there, then all bets go out the window. Hart with his chance to go heads up here with Chris Moneymaker, who calls out of the small blind with ace of diamonds, queen of hearts. And flop's going to come king, 8-6. Nothing there for Chris, and Hart with a pair will make a bet, and Chris will show his ace-queen.
You didn't miss.
And Hart's going to tell Chris, hey, you made a pretty good laydown. Well, Chris, obviously known for his 2003 WSOP main event championship, which netted him $2,500,000. He had a friend that had a piece of his action, and I think his dad also had a part of it. So realistically, I think what he had walked away with after the tax man and all that kind of stuff was roughly over $800,000. But yeah, developed a reputation after some of the hands that were aired. And Chris is, the really nice thing about Chris is that he's self-deprecating. He doesn't take himself too seriously. So he's always kind of referred to himself as a lucky donkey that just happened to win the World Series of Poker. So you know, he was a really great icon as far as for the common man, for the everyday man, for the everyday person, I should say, as far as, you know, hey, try your luck in poker, and it's why a number of us are here. Not long after that, it finished second at a 2004 Bay 101 WPT. Got a little bit unlucky against Phil Gordon. Also has a runner-up in the 2011 Heads Up Championship against Eric Seidel. Back when NBC used to run the Heads Up Poker Championship. Bryson now going to make a 3-bet here with his King Queen of Hearts. And Mr. Yankee going to take a small pot here on the 3-bet out of position. Bryson, a big Yankees fan, also a big Texas A&M Aggies fan. Always a joy here to have at Texas Card House.
Odessa, then Opeth.
Okay, so Odessa.
Yep. Poster on the right.
And a reminder here of our TCH Celebrity Poker Series. Here featuring Chris Moneymaker. Event tomorrow, 15 guaranteed re-entry tournament for $150 starting at 12:30. $150 gets you a 25K starting stack of 30-minute levels. And you can re-enter up into level 9. We will have a featured table earlier on in the afternoon, and then we will go live again on TCH Live for the final table, breaking down all the action. We can't wait for that.
Again, we can all disagree on this all night.
Well, another Tennessee Volunteer fan, Bruce, going to open the pair of 8s to 25.
I think Austin's pretty incredibly overrated.
And a graduate there of University of Tennessee, Chris Moneymaker, makes a friendly call in the cutoff with King Queen offsuit.
Now, granted, it's going to be a tough thing.
And Hart also going to call here with Ace 10 offsuit with the Ace of Clubs.
Yeah, 20. Since Manning left,
So we'll go to a flop with $80 in the pot here in our 5-5 no limit cash game. Flop comes Ace Jack 10. It's top and bottom here for Hart. A nut straight here for Moneymaker, and Bruce is the one that's going to come out and bet 40 into the danger zone as a couple of diamonds out there see Moneymaker will make a smooth call, and here comes the raise from Hart up to 150 as Moneymaker will take his time and will smooth call behind. We go heads up here to the turn, looking to avoid a board pair as Hart going to need an ace or a 10, and he gets it. Ace is full here on the turn for Hart. Chris Moneymaker is drawing dead. You know, Hart's got $995 left. And he'll lead with another bet here on the turn. Small bet of 125. Chris going to play it cautiously here with a straight, but as we can see, he's got no chance of winning this. And now the board double pairs Jack. And that's a really bad card for Hart because it makes it just that much easier for Chris to get away from the hand as it's really the only thing he can beat is a bluff. And a good lay down here by Chris as board ran out pretty poorly for him as Hart will get some money back. That hit he lost a little bit earlier, going flush over flush to Judd. And he'll bring it upon here at $370. Some good comments here in the chat box here on YouTube. The action picking up here at Texas Card House tonight in North Austin 75. Members here, a long wait list for 5-5, no limit. Got 125 PLO running. Got 1-2 no limit with bomb pots. 3 tables of that running right now, and a 1-3 no limit. We've got 2 tables of that running as well.
What? I hated the turn, so. Ace 10.
Get folds all around. Is Judd going to give up his 10-iron offsuit?
Damn ace to go.
Moneymaker's going to open here for 20 with Jack 10 off suit. Bryson will call him in the cutoff with Queen 10 of clubs. Phil also going to get in there with Jack 9 as Hart seeing some money there on the table out of the small blinds. Going to make a 3-bet to 80. Chris will call with the Jack 10. Expect Bryson and Phil. Not Bryson electing to get out of the way. But enough in there for Jack 9 of hearts to call 60 more as we will go 3 players to the flop. All 3 players with a jack in their hand. Phil with the only suited combination as it comes out. Queen of 5 deuce. No suits. Hart gonna check. Phil will also check, and a turn's gonna come an 8. So straight draws for Chris and Phil. Hart with the best hand with ace high, but not the friendliest board for him as Moneymaker going to make a bet on the turn for 125. As Phil's going to look him up here and see if maybe he can either make a draw or make a play here on the river with the pot building to 515. See if Moneymaker fires another barrel. Probably senses Phil might have had a drawing hand, might have had clubs. Doesn't know that he actually has the best hand with Jack 10 and have an accidental value bet as take down the pot here in 5-5 no limit. Again, your chance to play with Chris Moneymaker here at Texas Card House tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. As Chris sat down with roughly about 1,500. He's chipped his way up to 1,006. If you want to follow Chris on Instagram, you can do so. That CMoneyM21. Also a Twitter account at CMoneymaker. Follow along with Chris's journey all throughout the country. Has spent some time on the road to the PSPC. So he's been to Russia, he's been to Reno, to London, to Newcastle, Dublin. Been in Hollywood, Florida, to the Seminole Hard Rock, and has spent some time in Chile. So, Chris is, boy, he's been everywhere, man. So, a number of lucky players trying to win a Platinum Pass to go to the PokerStars Players No Limit Hold'em Championship late in 2020 in Barcelona. The cost for that, a cool 22,500 euros. So, if you got some of that money sitting around and you want to make a trip out to Barcelona, it's the PokerStars Players No Limit Hold'em Championship coming in August of 2020. 5 ways to a flop. A couple of ace deuces. Nobody connecting here on the flop as comes 10 high with 2 spades. Checky, 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 checky all around as the turn a deuce. Steve and Bruce both making a pair with an ace kicker, but not exactly the board that could be wanting to fire chips into with that quality of hand. As river comes to 5. Depending on who comes along to showdown, Steve's going to make a bet with his deuces to 65, and everybody will fold. Nice aggressive bet there on the river, since that clearly nobody made anything, and any kind of pair likely would have bet the turn with a harmless deuce coming out. Let's move on to hand 19 of TCHLive. My name is Mike Youngblood. Thank you for joining us. A dealer here at Texas Card House. I've been with the company for over 2.5 years. And to see the level of growth that we've undergone over the time that I've been here has been really special, and to be in this seat calling this is, well, folks, a dream come true. So we're thankful for you joining us wherever you may be, here in Texas or all throughout the world, here on TCHLive.
Fold.
Corky's probably is too.
Fold.
Again, if you want to contact our front desk to get into the game tonight and get on the list, 512-956-7195 for our Austin viewers. Next hand continues here for TCH Live as Moneymaker raising to 20 with some fours. Going to get called in two spots by Hart with King 10 offsuit and Bruce with the Ace-6 of diamonds. So a couple of overcards against the boats. Against the sailboats of Chris Moneymakers. The flop comes Jack 7. 2 pair for Chris. See if Bruce looks him up here after the flop bet of 35. And he's going to make a raise up to 85. Chris sensing he may still have the best hand, and we'll take another card off and see what the turn brings. Turn comes a 9 of clubs. Bruce is either going to need a 7, a 9, a 6, or an ace in order to make the best hand, but figures aggression might play off for him here as he'll lead the turn with a bet of 250. And Moneymaker give a little grin and give up that hand as yeah. Again, I was listening to some podcasts trying to get up to date and up to speed as far as what it's like for Chris to play some of these kind of meetup games and these events and just kind of how his style of play evolves just because he's a notable player, world famous. Everybody wants a chance to either try to make a play on him or make a bluff or do any kind of crazy things. And he talked about, I think this was on the Mongolian Poker podcast, and that is a real thing. Podcast that was recorded in Mongolia, the 3rd episode. The ability to mix it up when he knows, and he can kind of get a read that, hey, this particular player might be trying to make a play so that, he's got a story for the rest of his life, or, or the other kind of players who might be aware that Chris is aware of that, and he tends to just play a little bit more solid. So we've seen a little bit of each early on in this cash game session.
It must have been great. The feature was the car.
I just remember.
Rags abundant here, but Steve going to open for King Jack. The raise to 35 on the button.
I just felt like a good spot.
And Mike is going to call him with a Queen Jack of diamonds. Yeah, as we go heads up. Ooh, a pair and a flush draw here for Mike. 9, 6, 4, 3, or with 2 diamonds. Mike with the best hand. Looks at a bet of 40, ain't going to make the call. Steady as we go here to the turn. A pot of 160. Harmless deuce of spades on the turn as Steve going to bet again here to 125. Mike assuredly is the kind of player that's not going to go anywhere in this spot, but it's an opportunity if he wants to put a raise in, he can certainly do so. We'll elect to call the 125. River comes to 10. Steve again here with King Jack high, and he fires the 3rd barrel. What a bluff there on the end. Represented at all 3 streets. And apparently the 10 is what did it for him, because...
Papa John's? Please tell me it's not Papa John's.
Mike had the opportunity there if he maybe wanted to raise it on the turn. I expect that Steve would probably had mucked the hand, but he let Steve control the tempo all throughout it, and a gutsy bet on the end with the only chance to win. Action certainly has not disappointed us tonight here on TCH Live.
I thought he was expecting to have a good night. Beat the shit out of me, so I can't say much. You don't have to agree with me.
Bryson with a
Not in this head.
pair of threes. We'll raise it to 20.
Not in this head, yep. He beat the shit out of me. Yeah, with all these teams. You know anything better in Texas?
Steve with a better hand with a pair of sevens calls. Bruce also going to call on the button with 10-9 offsuit. And now Judd with a pair of kings. So the price of poker has gone up here to the cost of $125. And, you know, with a stack of 3,200, I think if Bryson has a little bit more money in front of him, he can, you know, contemplate maybe making a call there. But it's a little too much for me and gets out as we'll go heads up sevens against kings. Steve in position here with the sevens, and he'll flop an inside straight draw. Judd with the best hand with a pair of kings. That's 250, just under a pot size bet. Steve also has backdoor clubs as well. Takes a moment, pauses, and we'll see a turn card. Oh, 6. A straight now for Steve. Judd's only chance in this hand is a chop, and only 2 cards left to make that happen, as we'll make a bet. Judd in disbelief as he went from the best hand to drawing pretty much dead. As he goes, okay, well, what could he call me with that? I made a 3-bet here out of the small blind. He certainly wouldn't bet a set of 5s or a set of 8s, and in his most optimistic scenario, he thinks, okay, well, maybe he's got a Jack-10 or a pair and a flush draw. So he's trying to figure out, is there anything on this board that I can best? And as we can see there, we know Steve's well out in front there with a straight from a 5 to 9. And he's got 2 outs, and that's only to chop here, as bet a 600 made as and that's an agonizing decision, especially too with a pair of kings. Yeah, and he's going to give up his kings wisely, and he'll see later that was the right fold. But you know, you wait forever in these cash games to get hands like that, and they're really, really difficult to give up. But as you see here, aggression frequency, Hart and Bruce and Steve, all very active. Chris Moneymaker in the few hands that he's played has certainly been willing to open, and a lot of interesting plays thus far in our early going of TCH. Got a comment here, great table being built by Texas Poker Supply. Great folks there at Texas Poker Supply that comes to our cards, our chips, and this table here being represented. It's been quite a journey for us here at Texas Card House with this table, kind of the crown jewel of them all. Moneymaker called under the gun with 7-4 of hearts, and Phil opting to raise with the Queen-Jack offsuit. Steve with my favorite hand, 10-8 of clubs. Also going to come along here as well as we go 3 players to the flop. And a top pair and an inside straight draw for Steve. Moneymaker's got second pair with a 4 kicker. Phil has got a diamond draw with his jacks. With a jack of diamonds, and Steve with the best hand will make the call off the flop bet of 55. Turn comes a jack. Now Phil with the best hand. Floated on the flop. does have the only diamond draw, so now with top pair, he'll slow it down. And we'll check around as we go to the river. Hand a king. Phil still now with the best hand. See if anybody makes a bet at it. As Phil will check. Steve's going to check behind with his tens. We'll see Queen Jack wins with a pair of jacks and a queen kicker. Now, tricky spot there, especially when you start to draw to non-nut flush draws, especially in Hold'em or where it gets a little precarious. But, you know, Phil with a good beat of the situation to know that, okay, I've got 2 overs to the board. Jack of diamonds might be live, and still make a pair here and play this in position. And fortunate enough to get the jack there. Scoops a nice pot. Full house here in the main room tonight. Plenty of tables open, but we've got plenty of tables going right now. As it's 1-2 no limit, 1-3 no limit. We've got 2-5-5 no limit games going on. A 1-2-5 PLO. Some mixed games have been very popular as of late. And you can call the front desk at 512-956-7195. Get on the list to hear of any of our fine games around here at Texas Card House. Yanni getting involved. Raises. Queen 8 of hearts on the button. Both the blinds call. And he flops 2 pair, 8s and 4s with a queen. Moneymaker's got a flush draw with a 6-3 of spades. And see if he decides to make a move at this. He's going to bump it up. Going to raise it to 80. So Yanni with only about $555 has a decision to make that, okay, does he want to put in a third bet? Going to play it safe and make a call and see what the turn brings. Turn comes to 3, gives Moneymaker a pair of 3s, a few more outs for him. Check the Yanni. And he'll check back here with his 2 pair 8s and 4s. And the river comes a queen. See if Moneymaker tries to take a stab at this, but he may hate that card too, because if Yanni had maybe c-betted with like ace-queen or king-queen, his hand's not good, or he could think that he just has a total bluff, and he'll look him up with his 3s and 4s, and we'll see. Yanni's made 2 pair as... And I think Chris was just really shocked that, you know, if he had an 8, you know, the 3 of hearts is a kind of card that, you know, most players generally wouldn't check back. Donnie, a good player, though, saw it as an opportunity for maybe Chris Moneymaker to catch up to him, or at least kind of take him off the scent of the hand and gets some value here on the end. See our 25th hand of 5-5 no limit happening here at Texas Card House in Austin.
All of it. I mean, it's a low interest rate right now. I'm going to win a hand before I can.
So I am back here in the TCH broadcast studio, our back office, here in our 30-minute delay. Watching this as you do as the action unfolds 30 minutes after the fact, just to protect our players and the security of the game. So we extend an olive branch to you to chat with us here in the chat box here for TCHLive. As we continue here with the next hand, and Bryson has woken up with some kings. And off we go with a raise here to 125. Yanni had raised here to 20 with the ace-10 of the cutoff. And I don't know if anybody's going to call him. Yanni with only about 750 or $740. And in the words of Mike Sexton, sometimes it's better to win a small pot than to lose a big one. I love Mike Sexton. I think so many great poker broadcasters that I grew up watching and getting into college and then start absorbing all the WPT, Live at the Bike, the WSOP. As a sports broadcaster for many, many years, it's football, it's basketball, it's volleyball, softball, baseball, all that kind of stuff. And, the opportunity to be on the action here for poker is a thrill of a lifetime. So we welcome you wherever you may be here on TCH Live. Another straddle here for Hart. Seen a whole lot of straddling tonight. Hart has been probably the most consistent one. Steve's going to make the first raise with Queen Jack offsuit. Bruce will call him with Ace 9 of clubs. Yanni going to play conservatively with King Jack. Moneymaker here with Queen 10. Bryson with Queen 9 suited of spade in the small blind. Not the greatest position for it, but you go multi-ways. Certainly worth coming to a flop. So we're going to go 6 ways. Everybody with a crack at it here as it'll come ace, queen, 5. A pair of aces for Hart, Bruce, and RSJ. A pair of queens for Bryson and Steve, but Bruce with the best hand with a pair of aces and a 9 kicker will bet and get called here by RSJ and C10. Bryson will get out here with his second pair. And Hart going to lay it down. Not that far behind of Bruce. It sets in, and he would have made 2 pair as well. Bruce still in the lead here with aces and 9s. RSJ has to decide, okay, is Bruce maybe leading with like a flush draw? Does he have some kind of combo draw? Maybe hands like Jack 10 of hearts or King 10 of hearts? Or does he have an ace that he chops with? And see if Bruce slows down as he'll check the river and check back and show ace 9 of clubs as the best hand. Chuckle and muck his hand as Bruce will praise the Lord above, give a little kiss to the sky. Of course, it is the ceiling here at TCH. We are a modern facility. We do like having a roof over the top of it. One of the many fine amenities that we offer here at Texas Card House. All kidding aside, we also do have a licensed massage therapist being provided by Texas Royal Touch, some terrific professionals. So you get a backache, you get a shoulder ache. I've seen players who get wrist work done and calves and feet and all that kind of stuff. Many of the fine professionals at Texas Royal Touch providing licensed massage therapists at nearly all hours here at Texas Card House. And we're open 24 hours this weekend again. Open all night on Fridays and Saturdays, leading into Sunday, which close at about 3 a.m. Doesn't matter what the time, you come down here and play at Texas Card House. Bruce makes the first raise here with Jack 10 of spades. Judd's going to call him with ace 7 of diamonds. As we comb through the hands being picked up here by the action. We're at a great job by our producers coordinating all of this. So far, so good for us here on TCH Live. So we'll go 4 ways off the raise to 5 players All aces all the time. Top two here for Steve. Judd's got a pair of aces with a 7. And he'll bet on the flop 55. Not much there for anybody else. And Steve's going to throw in a raise. And a pretty big raise with that, as it's going to go up to 355. Now, Judd has some backdoor diamond draws, but correctly lays down his hand as pair of aces with a 7 kicker. Here to Steve, who's now up to 6,000 here on the night. He's made some pretty big hands, and by far with the most chips on the table. Mike's got 3.2, Bruce 3.1. Everybody trailing him here in our cash game tonight on Texas Card House.
They just need a pocket ring in here. That way you can just call somebody out if they beat you in a fight.
As we keep hopping along.
Be the one I was depends on if it lasts longer than 20 seconds or not. Let's be honest, if it lasts longer than 20 seconds, it's going to be ugly to watch no matter what. I feel like what was that fight that this whole street fighter, they did something on Bellator, and it was the most embarrassing. It looked like one guy had a heart attack in the ring.
Moneymaker there in the hijack pool. He's got ace-4 on suit.
Yeah, Homer Simpson just got tired when that guy needed to
Lex not to play.
No, there was a legit fight that happened.
Come down to Phil here in the button, and he'll make a raise to 20 with his jack 10 off suit.
Like one guy has a heart attack and he won.
And Mike will defend with his king 5, so
Joking.
some heads up, no limit. Here we go.
In the ring, it was embarrassing after like the first minute.
And a flop comes 9 and 7 9, and inside straight draw for Phil, king high for Mike. And he'll make a small bet.
That was who was it that signed off on Chuck Liddell
And chip up a few.
what's his name?
We want to remind the folks out there of our excuse me, I can't talk here. Our new promotion here for January, progressive savings on your hourly rate. If you play for 5 hours straight, you can save 20% off of the hourly rate that you play here at Texas Card House. If you play for 7 hours straight, you can save up to 30% off. And if you play for 10 hours straight, save 40% off. So grinders out there that like to put in a lot of hours, we've got the special here for you.
You don't even know how to use Uber. I don't have Uber else. So you gotta get to the airport. I got a few thousand in my pocket. I'm sure somebody will give me one.
Chip stacks building all across the table. Bruce going to limp under the gun with a pair of 7s. Now Phil has got a pair of 8s here and going to raise here to 20. Mike's got king 9 offsuit. He's going to call Steve, also with queen jack. Going to give a look here at the first 3 cards as we go 4 ways. And it comes king jack 6, 2 hearts. Mike has made top pair with a 9. Phil's going to check back. Here comes the turn, another king. Steve's got second pair with a jack. Mike's going to check again. Steve said, everybody's checking. All right, I'm going to take a stab at this. And he'll bid out 40. Phil kind of seeing all this unfold, so hey, maybe my 8s are still good here with the board pairing with a king, and Mike's going to play it slow here with his 3 of a kind. Bruce also calling here with his 7s. Oh, it's quads. Quads here for Mike. Is he going to get value out of this? He's got Bruce with kings full of 7s and Phil with kings full of 8s. And Steve also here with jacks full. Check, check, check. Oh, I think he's going to show his quads, but, you know, he's been more lying in the weeds for a lot of this cash game, as doing a lot of check calling, Had kind of hoped somebody behind him made a good enough hand that it can go for the check raise on the river, but not a bad day when you make quads. As you see there on your screen, our RFID technology that has been an incredible boost to the poker world, to the streaming world, as far as being able to bring a high-value production to you, the viewer. And our staff's been working hard to not only get this set up, but to understand how all this operates. And boy, it has certainly been a fun journey to get started off with. Well, Yanni going to make a raise there in seat 9, as he's got King Jack off suit. And Phil has got Ace King, and he's going to 3-bet to 70. Now Mike's also got Ace Jack offsuit, and he's going to call on the button. So a lot of big cards going to it as... See if Yanni comes on in here. He's played a little tighter. He knows Phil's not going to just splash around with anything. And his hand that's out-kicked in 2 ways. We'll give it up, and we will go heads up. Phil versus Mike. Ace King versus Ace Jack. Flop pairs 9-9-5 with 2 clubs. Phil has got the ace of clubs in his hand. And we'll make a bet. Mike not really drawn to anything. He needs a pair of... He needs to turn a jack to make the best hand. And he'll take a card off here and call the flop bet of 85.
All right, players, thank you for coming out for this first Moneymaker weekend. First, welcome to Austin. Good luck.
Heads up here to the turn, a queen of spade. See if Phil slows down here. You know, if Mike wants to represent a 9, he could make a bet here, but Phil with no fear now. Still feels like his ace king's got to be out in front of whatever Mike's range is. And he certainly knows it's not an ace-high flush draw because he has the ace of clubs in his hand. And with a bet of 200 here, Mike's got a decision to make. And Mike still may think his ace-high is good. Does not trust that Phil's got something better than him. And river going to come a 9. 3 of a kind 9s on the board. Phil's got the best hand with ace king. So he's bet the flop. He's bet the turn. Phil in a tricky spot here because he's already seen Mike check back quads. And bringing the hammer here on the river, a bet of 325. Excellent bet by Phil. Knew exactly where he stood. Figured no way in heck that this guy has made quads back-to-back here on me. So, you know, Phil had given me the self-deprecating. You're going to be commenting on my play here, my bad play here tonight. I said, Phil, you're going to play fine. Go play your game. So. Gonna hear on the chat box Stephen McCauley saying, hey, I may head down here. And you can head down here wherever you may be. If you just want to come up to North Austin here to our card room here at Texas Card House at 13376 North Highway 183 Suite 605. If you're looking for us between Discount Tire and Sherwin-Williams. So if you need your tires replaced and need to pick up some house paint, also play some cards, you have hit the jackpot, my friend. Moneymaker back in action here in our cash game as we'll make the first raise to 20 with Queen 10 off suit. Steve gonna call with the 10-9 of hearts. Bruce also in the mix here with Jack 10, so each player with a 10 in their hand. Steve with the only suited combo. And it's going to come ace, 9, 5, 2 clubs. Steve with the best hand with a pair of 9s, second pair, and he bets it's checked to him as a bet of 30 into a pot of just under 100. I don't know if anybody's going to call him here. That's he'll make a bet here again on the turn as take down a nice little pot. See super fan Bryson Bird, the Yankees fan, a long devoted Aggies fan, Yankees fan, good friend of mine. Also try to get him into broadcasting a little bit as well during the baseball season as a baseball enthusiast. Now all these guys, terrific people to have here in Texas Card House. We'd love to see your smiling face down here as well. If you're out in Houston, you can visit our North Houston Club in Spring, Texas. We've had some poker pros and meetup games out there as well. So want to visit our Houston location, our 1411 Spring Cypress Road in Spring, Texas. You can follow them on Instagram at tch.htx on the gram. Well, we'll change dealers here. James, one of our floor managers, stepping on. We'll have JD coming on in to give everybody 2 cards. Our Moneymaker series continuing here at Texas Card House. Again, tomorrow, we want to remind you, $15K guaranteed re-entry tournament. $150 buy-in gets you $25K starting stack, 30-minute levels. So an additional dealer appreciation for $10, I believe, gets you another $5K. I'll double check on that. But we've got 5-5 and 1-3 no-limit cash games being hosted here by the man himself, Chris Moneymaker. And Sunday also going to have a no-limit hold'em mega stack, $100 buy-in. $200 bounty and t-shirt on Chris. I am taking donations for anybody who wants to stake me. As you can tell, I'm not an idiot when it comes to poker, but if you want to make a little money, you can invest in me. But all kidding aside, it's a $100 buy-in, a huge stack to play with on our Sunday tournaments, and a chance to win a $200 bounty on Chris Moneymaker. And Chris also going to be hosting what should be a pretty explosive 5-5 PLO game, Pot Limit Omaha, on Monday. And for the last day for the Celebrity Poker Series featuring Chris Moneymaker, it will be a 2-5 Big O game and also a mixed limit cash game. And that's really how Chris had gotten involved with poker. As he talked about his upbringing into the game. He started off being like a losing blackjack player and realized that was not sustainable, and then he's playing all sorts of those crazy follow the queen kind of mixed games, and his friends would always hate whenever they would switch the game to no limit hold'em, because in his area in Tennessee there wasn't really a whole lot of hold'em games going on, and
How long do they stream? 4 hours?
obviously you know the rest of the story as logged on to a little site called PokerStars.com and changed the face of the poker world. As
Maybe.
for all you football fans out here, we've got a ton of TVs, so the College Bowl season wrapping up, but it is one of my favorite weekends of the year. Wild card weekend of the NFL playoffs. Between that and the divisional round, no better time to bring a 6-pack of your favorite beer. Bring a wine, a little liquor. It's a BYOB facility. If you want to follow along with the football games that are going on while you're playing poker here at Texas Card House, this is the spot to do it. All right, heads up between Phil and Bruce. Flop comes King 10-4. Phil with second pair and the best hand with the queen kicker. Bruce got no pair, no draw, and no fear as he'll take a card off. Phil's going to check dark here, too, before the next card comes. And it's a deuce. Up. Give a little hand pat to the table. That was not exactly a check dark, but Phil playing really well here in this session. A small pot, but has made a lot of really good decisions and has understood where he stood in a couple of hands, and now sitting with about 2,200 chips. Got a busy night here for us at Texas Card House. We're 91 members checked in right now. We've got 4 tables of 1-2 no limit with bomb pots. This 5-5 game has got about 20 players on the wait list here at this point in time. A couple of 1-3 no limit with bomb pots and another 5-5 game also with bomb pots. The tricky part about this RFID table is just, we're trying to figure out how we could possibly do double boards, but at this point, if any player does want to have a bomb pot, it's going to have to be with a single board. So, well, we're going to see if that information is correct. Steve had made a raise here with 9 deuce off suit. Flop's going to come 2 clubs, queen, 3, 4. A wheel draw for Mike with this ace-5. Top pair here for Moneymaker, and he leads with 50. Bruce also with a club flush draw. Turn comes the 8 of spade. Moneymaker continues here with the best hand. Top pair with a jack. Mike could also make an ace to make the best hand, and he'll call again. Here with a bet of 110.
May or may not pay the board.
We may have an error here where Steve's hand is. Excuse me, Bruce. Okay, there we go. Now we've got it right. Bruce's hand, see Jack 10 of clubs, is make a flush on the end. 2 pair now for Chris, and see how much he raises this to. There's a little acting show going on as he's got a flush, and he calls the river bet of 150. And he has the best hand with a flush, so Moneymaker went, why is this guy not raising me here? He had a better hand than I did. And either figuring that, okay, maybe the off chance Chris had queens full, or maybe a queen 8, or. And you see what's happening right there is players here at Texas Card House, because of the legality of how we need to operate these games, no chip really can be taken off the table. So if players do want to tip the dealers or the staff, what we do is have them purchase these tip chips, which are these kind of like beige, off-colored single dollar chips, or if you see there on Phil's stack on the right of your screen, the $2 tip chips. Because in order for all of this to be legal, all the chips have to stay in place. So that is one way we figured out how to compensate our dealers for the players to be able to have that right to do so as well. All right, some ragged cards as we go to a board with 6 players. And it's going to come queen 10-9 at 2 hearts. Second pair for hearts. Here with a king kicker. Judd, excuse me, with the pair of 10s and a king and an inside straight draw. Check, 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 check. And the turn comes an ace of hearts. 3 hearts on the board. Moneymaker with the only heart in his hand with a deuce of hearts. RSJ and C10 has got an ace-deuce offsuit, but he's going to give it up with that board looking as frightening as it is. And Yanni going to make a stab at this with 5-deuce of clubs and gets everybody to fold. It's kind of one of those things when you've got an ace, like you saw RSJ had there on in the 10 seat, that he's out of position. I mean, we can see that he has the best hand based off of everything that we can read the whole cards, but he's looking at a board where almost everything is beating him, and he's going up against a field of 6 players. So his probability that he's looking at, like, my ace and no kicker is the best hand is, pretty slim to none.
I will not make that mistake again. I promise.
It's gotta be a New Year's resolution right there.
What? Don't eat the salad.
Yeah. Salad.
It was don't eat a salad and don't.
Not much in the way of action on this hand as we are here at the blinds. Moneymaker with a queen, jack of diamonds going to raise. Bryson call him out of the big blind with queen 7 off suit. And off we go. Jack, Jack 9. Eureka here for Moneymaker, 3 of a kind. We'll lead small at 25. And Bryson with no choice but to give that one up.
Tell me the pizza's here.
So Moneymaker takes the pot as Team Poker Stars Pro has been really since he had won the main event. And talk about living a pretty good life. You live in Nashville, Tennessee, like Austin, one of the growing cities in our country that everybody talks about as one of the places to live. And so travel the country, spreading the good word of poker, and we're blessed to have him here tonight at TCH.
This sucks. I'm complaining about this pizza. I might be the first one to go get a pizza. Bet I'll beat you.
The Hart has got a $10 straddle, and he will check his option with the ace-8 offsuit. Mike had called. And flop's going to come ace-king 10. Pair aces for Hart. Phil's got a pair of kings and no kicker. Now the turn, a queen of spades. Flush draw now for Phil. Bryson's got no pair, no draw. And no fear of that board. So make a lead on the turn and get called. Phil with his pair and a flush draw. Hart with his pair. Mike also here with a pair of aces as well as. Unless we see an 8 or a 9, that's not a spade. This would be a chop, and it's going to be a 4. Mike and Hart both have the best hand with a pair of aces and a king, queen, 10. Phil had maybe hoped his king might be good there. It is not. And we will chop up the pot here as the aces are good. And boy, it seems like we've seen a lot of ace-high flops here tonight.
All right, just one players tomorrow at 12:30. We have $15,000 guarantee, $100 each.
See our chip count. Steve's just been crushing, and one of the commenters, Showstopper 8, says, "Dang, Steve is killing." Well, Showstopper 8, gotta agree with you. Steve's been igniting the table, making a lot of really good moves, caught some hands, and he's got the results to show it early on in our 5-5 session here on TCHLive. You can also comment here in the chat box as you're watching here on YouTube, or reminder to our viewers that if you do subscribe and show that here at the front desk, chance for you to earn 1 hour free here on your hourly here at Texas Card Houses. Pizza time here provided by Papa John's. Generally run pizza on Wednesdays and Fridays. Also have Texas Roadhouse catered. Saturday, we bring out Rudy's Barbecue at 7:30 to feed all the players. So get your brisket, get your cream corn, get your turkey, some sausage. Unbelievable food here at Texas Card House. Rising in a 3-bet here with Ace King of Diamonds. Moneymaker going to call with the 7-6 suited and flop second pair with the 7. Chris will check. Bryson makes the bet here, 125, and Moneymaker will call. Try to see if he can bluff catch. Ooh, 3 of a kind. Whatever fear Chris may have had about his 7s is now washed away as he is a lock to win this hand as we go to the river. River comes to 5 of diamonds. Now, can Chris make a bet that Bryson might consider calling? Because, dry board, nothing really that he can sit there and say, okay, Chris could have called with a suited combo or a drawing kind of hand, and it's probably going to be a bet that's too much here for Bryson to call. If he had a hand like Ace Queen, this all of a sudden becomes a lot harder decision, but Chris going to try to make this look like a bluff to maybe see if he can fool Bryson, and Bryson's going to take his time here to sit there and think, okay, is there anything I can beat here that's worth calling this much? And he will elect not to, and Moneymaker will add some more money here to the stack, as he had some really good stories as far as, when he first entered the poker scene, that nobody actually believed that was his real name. Like, there's multiple people with ESPN while the WSOP main event was giving him just okay, buddy, this nice try. This guy's trying to run some kind of trick on us. Like, your name is Chris Moneymaker, get out of here. And he had to show his ID to prove it, and had talked about that's an old German name that apparently some of his ancestors had been involved in coin making, and that had translated down into Moneymaker. And that, my friends, is when the myth began. Our next hand here is Bryson going to raise it here with 9-8. Phil's going to call him the Queen 7 of diamonds. Now Mike out of the blinds with Jack 3 of hearts. Also heart from the small blind here with Ace 8. Flop comes Ace 9 of 3. Second pair for Bryson. Top pair for heart. Bottom pair for Mike here with 3s and a Jack kicker. Phil is going to scram as get called in 2 spots as we go 3 ways here to the turn. Hearts ace in the lead as it brings a 10 of hearts. Now a flush draw for Mike. Bottom pair and a jack high flush draw. And now Hart seeing this board out here, elected not to make a bet. Trying to keep the pot manageable. And the river comes to 4. Huge card there for Mike as he's made a flush with his Jack 3. Started with bottom pair, turned to flush draw. And he's not going to get any calls here in the spot as he makes a river bet of 200. Runner hearts is... But again, he's not really been active as far as a betting standpoint. So, I think Hart's sitting there kind of thinking like, okay, I haven't seen him bet his big hands yet, and the board has come out heart. It's a pretty good chance that I probably don't have enough to call him with here. Well, Hart is going to rack up his chips here, and we may get a new player into the game, some fresh blood, if you will. And Steve has worked his way up to 6,000. now going to make the first raise with the Queen Nine of Hearts. It's kind of dinner time for these guys. See if anybody can save me some of that Papa John's. I don't think any of y'all want to listen to me chew all of that, but save some of that for once the broadcast is done. So we'll go 4 ways. Flop of 4, deuce, deuce. Nobody connecting. Ace high for Bryson. Currently the best hand is, we'll check all the way around as we bring out a jack of hearts on the turn. Still ace high, the best hand. Trying to dodge a king, queen, 10, or 9, and we'll do so. Jackson deuces with an ace. Likely going to get checked down. Bryson will flip up his hand. JD is going to send him some chips down there to seat number 2 as Bryson down to 620 and looks up and sees a lot of other, lots of big chip stacks on the table with him as we'll head back to work.
I get player checks on 11.
Bryce's going to add some more here to his chip stack. Yeah, this is a 5-5 uncapped game, meaning players can buy in for as much as they want, and Heart session is complete as he'll step off the table. And we'll see who our next player is in our 5-5 game. Don't know just precisely how much behind here for Bryson, but Moneymaker is going to make the first raise here in this hand with a raise up to 20. And Phil's going to make the call.
Just for Bryson.
Somebody wake up Bruce there, tell him it's his turn. There you see one of our floor managers, Kirk, there to get some chips. As Moneymaker had made the opening raise with his 10s. Bruce there with 8s, and a flop is going to come 8-8-3. Bruce's flop quads. Second quads that we've seen here in the session. Moneymaker with the overpair. And we've got a bet and a call. Moneymaker continued here with his 10s. Mike had called with his ace-jack of clubs. They're all drawing dead to a guy nobody can seem to get a read on. Here with Bruce with 8-8-3. And no call. Turn comes to 7. Now we go here to the river with a 6 of clubs. Gonna check again. Moneymaker's figuring like, man, there's got to be something fishy going on here, but 10's got to be the best hand here, right?
I'm gonna put in a little raise.
And we'll see just how big this raise is going to be. If we bet 325, I imagine it's going to take about 325 is what it's going to be. He'll raise it up to 325. Moneymaker either assumes like it's got to be absolute error. A huge hand, and he's put in a really tricky spot here. Also made trickier the fact he just had some Papa John's. Get a little slice in here. Sometimes get a blood sugar going up a little bit. Trying to accurately assess what in the world he could raise with. Could he raise 7s full? Could he have made 6 full? Could he have just been slow playing the 8 the entire time? And he's going to flip over his hand to try to see if he gets a read on Bruce as to how he reacted to it.
You're good. No doubt about it. I didn't know you that so.
Yeah, this is legal to do in a cash game in a tournament. It is a bit of a party foul, so don't do it.
I got a 7. For mine, I'll give the deal. We get a 7 what? I don't have 7 8.
Chris with a decision to make 200 more to call.
You have a 7 if you don't have anything else. Come on, King 7 is supposed to be good. I mean, you would never re-raise with King 7, monkey. I didn't think you had 2 kings.
And he's going to give it up. See if Bruce shows it. I'm almost assured that he will, as Mike had made a quad kings with a king 9 earlier, and here's the dramatic presentation. 8-8. As I call it, Michael Irvin, as former Cowboys wide receiver. We're still not aware that of our tip chip rule here, but
I know you need the money. Go ahead and call.
well, we move on to our 40th hand of this 5-5 no limit session of our first edition of Texas Card House Live. My name is Mike Youngblood, your host and commentator, sometimes analyst. If you disagree with any of my takes, you can message us here in the chat box here on TCH. Subscribe, TCHLive. And Rick McCauley also commenting, so cool that Chris is in town. They still have a limited edition Moneymaker silver dollar from the Poker Stars days. Wonder if Chris remembers that promo. Remember all the Poker Stars shop that had all that cool merchandise. And
What's that?
now if ever I need clothes, there's only one place I shop, and that is the merchandise from Texas Card House. Get yourself some T-shirts, hoodies, hats. We have it all there at the front desk. If,
I seem to be here for everybody today.
load up on Texas Card House merch.
Except you. I got your number. You're the only one I beat so far. That's true.
3 ways here to our next flop as Moneymaker raised it up to 10-9 with 10-9. Mike also calling with 10-9 and Judd on a pair of 6s. Checked all the way around. Come out here to the turn, 5 of spades. 6 is still the best hand. JD getting the card to read there on the turn. Yeah, we've run a few test runs of our broadcast here.
It just sends a signal bouncing off his hand into the headset.
To really get a feel for how this RFID technology. It used to be that if you wanted to get access to whole cards, you have to have the little camera underneath the table, and I think this has made things in some ways different and maybe a little more complicated, but it's also made the production side a little bit easier and more manageable. And I think poker fans know that did cause some controversy out in Stones Live, and as that was unfolding, it was a huge topic for us to try to take every precaution and measure necessary to avoid any of that kind of really ridiculous silliness that occurred there, and allegedly. But I think everybody's got a take on that, and we've been through that around the block and more. But 5 of spades having some issue being read. Here has the turn card, but our 15K guaranteed prize pool. That means the prize pool guaranteed, and it sounds a little redundant, but there's going to be at least $15,000 in it. At the very minimum, we expect that prize pool could really grow with Chris Moneymaker in the house. There's a re-entry tournament for $150. It starts 12:30 tomorrow on Saturday. A 25K starting stack at 30-minute levels, and you can re-enter all the way into level 9. So we are going to get a new player here as play resumes. Again, the No Limit Hold'em Mega Stack on Sunday for a $100 buy-in. Also, Chris is going to be hosting a 5-5 pot limit Omaha game on Monday the 6th. And his last day here in Austin before he returns home to the family out in Nashville, Tennessee. That'll be a 2-5 Big O game and a mixed limit cash game. Got our turn card having an issue here as we've paused the game to get up to speed and let the action tracker continue with that. As the tables that we've got going on here in the main room, over 95 players here in the house. 4 tables of 1-2 no limit with bomb pots, of 1-2, 1-3 no limit hold'em games, of 1-2-5 PLO game, and 2 tables of 5-5 no limit with bomb pots also being run here. So if you love action, this is the place to be. As I think Bryson is going to make a seat change.
Yeah, just let the one hand not be known. Just play it out.
Well, all right, here we go. We've got the 5 of spades. Red is Jeb with the best hand with a pair of 6s.
Kirk, do we get, since we're getting
And he will check.
an hour right now due to technical difficulties, we get some free hourly rates for this?
No, you should pay more to the other three.
45 cents.
Get out check, sir.
Oh.
There's been wagers made.
No, we'll figure something out, guys.
Some money being splashed out there for that player's buy-in. We'll see what his name is.
Can I take a picture with you, please? Can you
You sure you get the crystal?
And Moneymaker is going to make a bet here on the end and take down a pot.
Ah, there you go. Why can't you guys be more like him? That's such a nice guy coming in here sitting down. I hope I lose to him, and I know you motherfuckers. Y'all lose. Actually, I think I'm poker just because of you. I'm sorry.
It's Papa John's Pizza here tonight. And I'm not sure if you saw the former Papa John. I don't know how to say his last name, but off on a challenge here to take down 50 Papa John's pizzas within 30 days. So that is like the anti-New Year's resolution. So if you want to eat as much pizza as Papa John, you can certainly do so here at Texas Card House tonight. There's a chance to chow down as we offer food just about every night of the week. Texas Roadhouse, from Rudy's Barbecue.
We moved houses again 2 years later. I found it in the attic in a box.
The way delivery apps work,
for photo shoots.
from anywhere in town, you can pretty much get what you want delivered here.
Oh, shit.
All right, On is going to come on in, and he is an action player, loves to splash around. So this could be a shot in the arm here to the game as he races it up here to 20.
Actually, last time I was on live cheat, I got cheated. So
Got a re-raise on the button. Bruce going to bump it up here to 75 with King Jack off suit.
Me and you, one time for old time's sake.
I have Chris next.
And we'll go heads up here to the flop.
He plays big. He just walked quads on me. You be careful. I have him next to me here.
So you can see just about over 3,000 behind as
Check to you.
flop comes Queen Jack 7. Second pair here for Bruce, the best hand. And the turn is going to come an ace of spades. Top pair here for On, but a straight and flush draw, a royal flush draw here for Bruce. Made quads not that long ago, so I don't think he's going to go away even with a sizable bet of 280 here at the turn card. And Reach-In will make the call of 280. And a river of king. Bruce has made 2 pair, a bit of an ugly board for it. Likely going to go check. And the ace with the 6 no good as it's bested by the 2 pair of Bruce. So heater mode has been activated as
That's how he does, man.
Bruce scooping another pot and now up to 4,300 on the night here in the session. Is I think just about under 45 hands thus far. And we've enjoyed just about all of them here thus far.
Lady I take care of in the nursing home.
Well, if you can't get enough of your Texas Card House fix, sitting in traffic, wondering what in the world am I going to listen to today. Well, my friends, you shall subscribe to the From the Felt podcast. Join Bill, Sam, and Ryan as they talk to poker professionals and venture throughout here in the state of Texas, give you updates, what's happening with TCH in all 3 of our locations. Subscribe wherever you tune into podcasts to the From the Felt podcast provided here by Texas Card House. Bryson's going to 3-bet his 10s.
What number is that?
And 3-betting right into trouble is Moneymaker with his kings under the gun. Now plans this next course of action here. It does on also with ace-king, and this is a spot on's probably not going to go any away from unless Moneymaker really makes a big bet. And oh my gosh! Bringing the heat and a shove all in for just under 3,000 with ace-king. Chance for Moneymaker here to double up. Bryson sitting there in an on spot with 10s is, Moneymaker has put in the 4th bet up to 295, and there's a 5-bet shove. And he's a good enough player that he's going to take this all into account, and he's going to come along and gamble here, and now Chris feels the pain.
What the hell?
And this looks easy on the screen as, it goes 4 and 5-bet, and, if you've got kings here, you're just fearing that somebody's got aces. And especially in the way that On had just shoved his butt. An extraordinary amount of black chips in here, but he can't fold. Chris really can't fold here. And he shouldn't. He's not as familiar with these players, but it's a spot here where he's got to get his money in, and he's in a better position than he thinks. Tough one here for Bryson. Correctly assumed On probably making a crazy move with ace-king. And he's going to have to get lucky and hit a 10.
I'm dead. You need some insurance? $5. I got him beat.
So you gather up the pots here as Moneymaker with just about 995. So Bryson and On will have another separate side pot of it's about 1,000 total.
How much?
And I'm surprised Chris can stay at the table here. He's a little superstitious. I remember during the National Heads Up Championship, as I was watching that, it just said, I run back when I watch it. But, hey, that was about 10 years ago, and that's Chris, the new man. And an ace flops here for On. Only 1 out left here for Chris Moneymaker. 2 outs here for Bryson. And a pair of aces with a king.
I did play exactly like you teach me.
Going to go on a trip here to Scoop City as it takes down the main and the side. And this game just got interesting. Oh my gosh. Where are you, folks? This is the night here at Texas Card House. As the second seat. Can barely wrap his arms around the chips. And with only a hand or 2 in, you see that aggression frequency pretty high. But, Phil and Steve have been pretty relentless as well. And oftentimes it's just an indicator of position and the kind of hands that you get. But, boy, that is a kick to the stomach here for Chris Moneymaker. I think was originally just worried of the fact of okay, did I just really run into aces here by one of these players? And just so happened to get very unlucky as an ace flops out.
Let's go with the people, not the
I'd like to be. I bet he wishes he was in that seat.
So On is also going to be the big blind, and we'll see if these players stay or go. We may get some new players into the mix here in our 5-5 no limit hold'em game. If you want to join the action and get in line, call 512-956-7195. We invite you to interact with us here in the chat box. Here, as you subscribe to our YouTube channel, our subscribers that have grown pretty quickly. Here in just about the day of officially launching the channel. Moneymaker going to buy back in and try to get a color up here as Bruce had raised it here with 10-8. Judd trying to get his cards read as and off we go. Here to the flop. Flop comes ace 4-6. No pair, no draw for Bruce. But a 25 bet, and whatever Judd's hand was, bested by a continuation bet here by Bruce. Let's move the button to C10. Moneymaker back into the game. And by the looks of it, probably sitting with about 3,000. A lot of money being added here on the table as try to figure out what On's chip stack is now that having just gotten into a three-way all-in with Moneymaker and Bryson. 45th hand here of TCHLive as Moneymaker will get in here on the next hand. And Bruce going to open for 25 with a green chip. Again, we do have a single chip rule here at Texas Card House that in order to make it a raise, got to announce raise. But ace queen now be matched up with a 3-bet here by RSJ on the button here with the kings. Bruce gonna lay it down. RSJ hasn't mixed up too much here and probably correctly assuming he's probably got a premium hand on the 3-bet. Steven asking in the chat, how late is your card room open tonight? Well, we're open 24 hours, my friend. Here throughout the weekend, open 24 hours on Friday and Saturday. Do not close until 3 a.m. on Sunday. Glenn C. also saying, hey, next one of these should be at the spring TCH. And, boy, wouldn't that be something? TCH Nation all across Texas, stand up. I'm glad that we have our Houston viewers tuning in here to Texas Card House Live. As Judd Rains with a track 9 offsuit here with 15. Mike gonna call with a suited 10-6, and Phil also jumping aboard with the ace-8 offsuit, and flop comes ace-6 king, 2 clubs. No pair and no draw. Phil with the best hand with a pair of aces. Now turn comes with 4 of hearts. Heart draw now. Check that Mike here with the 3rd pair and a heart draw. Bet and a call. He's got 10 outs here to make the best hand. And that was not one of them. Phil with the best hand. We'll see if he elects to check, and he will. Phil will add $55 to his stack here after that hand. And, good check there by Phil. Mike hasn't really bet a whole lot. Has really been calling more of his hands than being the aggressor. But in that spot there, tries to see maybe if he can do a bet from a worser hand or. Nonetheless, because we can see it, we knew his aces were the best. Judd going to raise it now with ace-9 offsuit with the ace of hearts in his hand. After that huge hand that On won, he's now up to 5,300 and
Not usually the WP2 cat.
Gonna get calls here from King Queen and Ace Jack and King 8 as we go 4 ways to a flop of 10-3-7. No pair for anybody. Steve's Ace Jack's the best hand at this point in time as another blank on the turn of 5 at diamonds. Phil's gonna make a bet here. Correctly assumes nobody had any piece of it, and a bet is able to take down another small pot as Phil to 2,300 now. As 4 players there with above 3K. Chris Moneymaker buying back in after his kings were cracked. Bryson taking a break here after his 10s were beat. As
Back at work again.
yeah, I'm kind of sure he's probably going to be kicking himself for it, but you can understand the scenario there where he could be up against a couple of ace kings, ace queens, and did not know Moneymaker had the kings, but proved not matter. On it, flopped an ace with an ace king, and so see he has a mountain of chips there. RSJ now the raise up to 30 with ace queen. On with a 9-8 of spades. Reasonable call. Steve's going to give a look and actually going to give a raise up to 155, and Bruce Snell with some 7s is going to call the 3-bet out of the big blind. And now RSJ with about 1,700 behind will call with his ace queen. And on certainly with enough chips to play with, makes an easy call with 9-8 of spades as we will go 4 ways to a flop. Jack 8-3. Pair 8s here for Han. Technically the best hand is Steve is going to lead out a bet of 325. And he's got the worst hand out of the bunch. So if you want to understand why he's winning, he's picked his spots fairly well here, but I got a feeling On's probably going to call him here in position to take a card off. I mean, he has the best hand, but you see somebody come out 3-bet out of position and then make that flop bet. That's not as easy of a call as you think, but he's going to give it up. Steve using all the ammunition that he has to steal the pot from everybody. We'll add another 465 to a stack. And we are open 24 hours here on the weekend. Friday nights tends to be a very busy night for us, but always room on the wait list, always room to open another table for you. A lot of action here tonight. There's 1-2, 1-3, some pot limit Omaha, and of course our 5-5 game as you see there on your screen. Some 1-3 games going on here at Houston tonight, also a tournament.
What's that now?
$60 re-entry, $1,500 guaranteed happening out of their spring location. Let's move on to our next hand here at our TCH in Austin. Flop a King Jack 8 with 2 spades. Judd's gonna bet his second pair and get everybody to fold. It's a simple game sometimes, bet and everybody goes away. And if you were not aware, we've got a new club down south in Edinburgh here for TCH Rio Grande Valley. Brand new club that we've opened. Victor, our new GM or general manager down there, spent some time here at TCH. Great dude. Try to develop that location as the spot if you're heading south to the border.
I mean, they're not as fun as me.
Yeah, trip to South Padre sounds pretty nice right now, doesn't it?
Not everybody can do it. I guess.
A rough start here for Moneymaker and his first of 5-day trip here to our Texas Card House Austin location is out of the way. Is on going to race it to 45 with 10-8 offsuit. Mike will call him with King Jack of Spade. Bruce also coming along with Ace Jack of Hearts. And Judd also here with the Ace Jack. The diamond and a club. Flop 8 deuce 3. On is heating up. And he's flop top pair and nobody else has made much of anything, and he puts out a sizable bet of 280. So it looks like the pot is about 185, and gonna try to discourage anybody with overcards to take a crack at this, but it's a pretty big bet in comparison to what's really in the middle. Is Mike will get out of the way, everybody will get out of the way, and not conventional by any stretch, but effective as another 140 chips going the way of On. As
I get a brush to 11.
right behind Steve for the highest chip stack here of the night is Steve about 6,400 on with about 5,003. And we'll continue here with our 5-5 no limit game on TCH Live. My name is Mike Campbell, your host and commentator. Here for our brand spanking new show here on YouTube. I expect we may go on Twitch at some point. But for our audience, you can tell your friends that if you subscribe, you get a free hour of play here at Texas Card House. So
Yeah, very good eye.
smash that subscribe button. Unless you're on a touch screen, we advise you do not smash your monitor. But hit that subscribe button with your chance to earn a free hour play here at Texas Card House, as many have. As raise up with pocket fives. Judd going to call him on the button with Queen 10 and be heads up here to the flop. As flop comes 10-9-3 with 2 diamonds. Judd the overwhelming lead. And he will check call the flop bet at 20. Excuse me, he will call the continuation bet at 20. Turn comes a king. That gives Judd an inside straight draw to go with his best, with the best hand. And Bruce will step away.
Do you know what Farmville is? I know what it is, kind of.
I've never played it, but
I don't either.
I didn't laugh really hard when you said that. I was like, he's doing what?
Your friend is over there picking on me, and you're picking on my friend.
He's another.
I can't believe you said that to him. It's quite rude. I'm surprised he didn't punch you.
Brennan Kaufman also commenting. Hello, I have played at this Texas Card House before. It is a place to play poker. Well, Brennan, you're 100% accurate there. Really good player. That's played some cash games here in our at our location. Funny guy. Funny guy. All right.
I should have did one here. It's like multiple. Still looking for someone.
Well, Mike gonna open call here with the ace queen off suit, and Bruce now gonna raise here to 25.
Technically 10, yeah, true. You just needed to, we both needed a lot more money.
RSJ gonna call out of the small blind with queen jack off suit, and Moneymaker also back in the mix here with a 3K stack, and we'll take a look here with a king 10 off suit. Flop king, 3, 9, and 2 hearts. Don't know exactly what Bruce's hand here, but as we can see currently, Moneymaker with the best hand. RSJ's got an inside straight draws. Bruce will lead out at 75. And we'll get a call by RSJ. See if Chris puts a raise in here, and he will. Raises it up to 245. Mike will get out with his ace-queen. Yeah, these two have tangled up quite a bit, as couldn't have had much, as Moneymaker will take it down with a check raise on a king-high board.
Had to get rid of all that unlucky money.
Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, Sage. Guys we've seen play here a lot. As a dealer here, part of the experience is not only the people you work with, it's people you work for, and I can't tell you how many times where you step in the box or sit in the box here as a dealer, and you look around and see people you've known for quite a while, or entertaining and really hilarious people that makes coming to work not feel like much of a job. So. Chris Miller asks, any chance of a TCH coming ever to Dallas? Trying to quit my job at Winstar, LOL. Well, I wouldn't put the cart before the horse or anything like that, but you're going to have to go higher than my pay grade to get a real solid answer out of that. So I can only focus on what's in front of me, but here we go. Bruce raising with a 10-9 offsuit. Mike here with the deuce-3 of hearts, and he's gotten about as good a flop as you can ask for his hand, as he flops bottom 2 on with 9 high. Fires 80.
You fell for it.
Let's see if Mike just calls. All right, I think I got this backwards here. Mike had let out here with 25, and then got the raise. And then Mike putting in a 3-bet. So, somebody maybe said, hey, Mike, why don't you go be a little more aggressive there, as he puts the 3-bet in with the 3 deuce of hearts, keeping everybody off balance. Yeah, and Brendan asking here in the chat box, you're considering Twitch as a platform to use, and I think that's in the works. I could be wrong about that. I mean, it is, with all the streaming sites and all that kind of stuff, that it has been a popular method to stream, and I think we're aiming for both, but people on the technical side have a better idea as to what that kind of takes. So right now I'm just going to kind of keep from answering the real questions and just try to yammer on as long as I can. All teasing aside, though, as Judd's going to raise it up here with ace-queen. On has got queens, and let the games begin, boys and girls, as we've got a 3-bet here from a loose, aggressive player. Judd's going to slow down and just call the 3-bet to 80. Flop goes 9-9-4. Good flop here for queens, as I'm with out of the small blind with 2 pair. We'll lead out. It looks like about 210.
I'm sorry? Yeah, I don't have 4-4.
Judd's not really floated a whole lot of flops. That
39.
as you can see there is
Almost 39.
with a couple of cards that we know were folded, that he only had 4 chances with 4 outs, 4 cards to make a hand.
Almost as good as that.
44 is a prime time.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
My body begs to differ.
You're 44?
And we are 10-handed for this streaming live cash game here at TCHLive. Bryson back in the mix here, it looks like.
I would agree with that.
44 in your operation.
Haven't heard much from Phil lately. Had taken some small pots, been playing pretty solidly. Steve up to 6,400.
Have the rare thing.
Moneymaker busted earlier if you're just joining us with some kings into ace king all in pre-flop.
It's like for a night. You had like
Gonna try to get that back, but at this point we've got 5 players here to the flop of queen jack 10, 2 hearts. Top and bottom here for Phil, and he's gonna play it fast and lead out 20. And Mike has got an open-ended straight draw. Steve also with a gut shot and backdoor diamonds. And Judd with the lesser straight draw with a 9. He needs an 8 to make a straight. And here it comes, a ace of hearts on the turn. But Broadway now for Mike. And he'll make the bet. Steve has made a pair of aces, but a terrible board for his hand. And Phil with 2 pair, going to give him a look. He needs a queen or a 10 to win the hand. He also can draw up with a heart as well. Goes check, check, and Phil will muck as straight going to win. Phil again had some heart, had a heart draw to go with that. A royal flush draw too, if you will, but
First time I'm trying that. Normally it's out of London or they decided to screw up with that flight.
chatting, picking up here in the chat box. I certainly invite you to join us here on TCHLive and hit that subscribe button. Show us to the front desk that you've subscribed and giving yourself a free hour of play here at Texas Card House.
I used to play
As we keep on moving, I've liked the pace of how this game has gone.
If you're over in Europe already,
The technical stuff we've been able to kind of keep swimming smoothly. The action's been really good. The dealing's been terrific. Seen some really good plays, some good laydowns. A couple of bluffs here and there, but stay tuned here at TCHLive as more to come for us here in the future.
Hey, we have a expressway.
As we are just getting started. Shout out Kevin Ram. Table looks sweet. Great commenting. Now, if you want to talk about great players, one of the better players to come into this club, Kevin Ram. The guy made a run of the World Series main event. And deprived Knicks fan. So if you see him, give him a hug. Tell him it's going to be okay. Maybe one day the Knicks will be good. But Patrick Preston commenting. I liked it when I lived in Austin. He's enjoying the stream, though. And, well, Patrick, maybe you should make another trip here to TCH. See how you've liked this since the last time. Flop at Jack, Deuce, Deuce. Moneymaker going to call the flop bet. Mike also going to call here with that Queen 10 offsuit. Board pairs twice, Jack, Jack, Deuce, Deuce. Moneymaker with the ace high with the best hand, to the best of our knowledge. Checked all the way around here to the river. And the river's going to come at 8. Moneymaker still with the best hand. Mike or RSJ is going to have to make a stab at this, otherwise Moneymaker will take this one down. And it'll show his ace 5. So for our next installment of TCHLive, you can join us as we stream the featured table in the tournament tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The tournament officially starts at about 12:30, but we'll be joining the action here on the featured table at 3, and then we will have the final table later on into the night for however long it takes. We will be on the call here for TCHLive. And Brennan asking, is it possible for players to ever hop into the booth? Yeah, we certainly hope that's going to be the case. So right now I'm just kind of flying solo as here on our first run, but trying to have a conversation with myself is a little bit more difficult, so we certainly hope that to have some friends involved and players and guys who have even more insight to how these games go. As we're still in our infancy to figure out, okay, how can we use this to benefit our players and give them an experience, a little joy, and be a part of. And there's no shortage, having spent time on the table, no shortage of guys who are good talkers, good analysts, who I think would be a great fit. So, we as we get our processes in order, look for that possibly in the future. Well, 6 ways to the flop, or check that, 7 ways here as the flop becomes king, king, 8. On with the best hand, and we'll bet out 75. Jordan Rupp, nice comment, thanks. We've got PLO going to be scheduled for Monday as Moneymaker is hosting a 5-5 PLO game. No word yet if we'll stream that, but want to try to catch Chris playing PLO, we can do so here on Monday night as he's hosting a 5-5 game. And 2-5 Big O happening on Tuesday night with a mixed limit cash game. Anything you want to play. You want to get your Sassy on, you want to play some Archie, play some Oklahoma, some Badusi. We got it all here at Texas Card House. As a dealer, it's always kind of nice to deal those games. You get so much of no limit holding down your throats, and great game, but you get a good stud 8 or better game or some limit Big O. It's also entertaining to be in the box for. Well, Yanni here with some 1s as Judd going to open the pot up to 20 with King Jack off suit, and he's going to raise it up to 3-bet to 60. See if Judd is saying he will call as we go heads up here to the flop. Huge advantage for Yanni, and we'll see what the board reads. It comes out 8, 7, 6. And a bet and a fold. And sometimes the game is easy as that. You pick up aces, a bet, and everybody goes away. As not a huge flop, or not a huge pop by any stretch, but I think sometimes when you get aces, you just happen to come away with a winner. Well, on the most aggressive pre-flop raiser at this point of the table now, 23% of the hands that he's come in for, and I expect that number is probably only going to grow unless he decides that he's going to try to protect his chips. But I think we could be in for the on show here for the rest of this evening.
We're going on Geraldo next week.
No, it's not Geraldo. It's what is it? Mari.
RSJ going to raise it up here with ace queen. Moneymaker going to call with jack 10.
Hey, make you feel young or something.
Only as young as the women you feel.
Mike will call with his ace 9 of hearts. And we will go 3 ways here to a flop. Well, actually, we've got the 3-bet there by Moneymaker. My apologies, folks. Now RSJ's going to put the 4th bet in here with ace-queen, and his instinct's correct that it's probably 3-bet pretty late. And does Mike want to gamble around here? He's got ace-9 of hearts. It's not typically a hand that you see somebody make a call with on a 4-bet, but he's thinking about it.
Hey, don't be laughing at my misery. Yeah. Stop it.
Still thinking.
What?
He's in the cutoff, so he would have position
I've been playing with you too long.
if he decided to gamble here. And he'll give it up.
I'm taking a collection over here.
Money with the mop is.
Keep on moving there, Bryson. Gonna get a massage there from the lovely Victoria. I've got a few massages. My back acts up and a shoulder acts up and neck gets all kind of cranky there. And the fine professionals at Texas Royal Touch providing that here at Texas Card House for $1.50 a minute. You can follow them on Instagram, I believe at texas.royaltouch to learn more about them. That's the texas.royaltouch. If you want to follow us on the gram, if you aren't already, do so here at our Austin location, tch.atx.
You've heard enough of him.
Moneymaker raised it now. The 8-6 offsuit. Mike Collins with the 8-6 of spades. We go three ways. Ooh. King, 9, queen, 2 spades. Yanni's made bottom pair and a straight draw as it gets checked around. Oh! A flush now for Mike. Straight here for Yanni. Moneymaker's, I guess, also kind of got a flush draw, and he's going to make a bet here to 25 as Mike makes a raise up to 75. Yanni calls with his straight. He's also got a straight flush draw, but as we can see, there's the queen of spades is not going to be there for the river as we'll brick out with a deuce of clubs. Can Mike get some value here and just how much? As he figures Yanni's got a straight. Is he going to make a raise big enough that he can consider calling, or small enough that it's worth him to pay? He's going to raise it up to 500. And that's probably going to be too much here for Yanni, because he's considering his possibilities here, that it could be a chop pot here with a jack. There's other scenarios here where Mike may have ace-jack as well, that his hand is totally crushed. But he's just trying to consider this, that, okay, if I call 350, am I just getting this back and we're chopping this up, or does Mike have me crushed? And as we can see, Mike has got the hammer with the ace-high flush, and like a gentleman, will show that he had the best hand. And
Yeah, you missed a whole straight one. It worked anyway. It did. Good hand.
get on to Kevin Rance as a certified savage, and certainly has been so in this with chipping up to 5,600.
I don't think he was going to get called no matter what he did, but you never know.
Again, JD, a dealer behind the box, doing a terrific job as always here at Texas Card House. We feel like we do have the best dealers all throughout all the clubs here in the Austin area. A high standard for all of us to succeed in, and very, very blessed to work with a lot of really great people that makes this operation run as smoothly as it does most days. I'm going to raise it up here with ace-5 offsuit. Mike will call with now the ace.
25.
RSJ out of the big blind. 9-8. Nope, he won't gamble with these guys. Moneymaker here with 7-3. Says, all right, this guy's has got a lot of chips in front of him. Let's see if we can get a few of those back. Cause go 3 ways to a flop. 10-4 deuce. Top pair here for Mike. Inside straight draw for on as a wheel draw. So he needs a 3. And we've got a min raise back to 150. The question for on is, does he want to continue, or does he want to maybe put in a third bet and put the brakes on and give a call here as we go to the turn? He's got 3 wins. We could also get backdoor spades. And the turn, it comes a jack. Goes check, check. River comes a deuce. See if on maybe tries to represent a jack or a deuce here, but More often than not, I think Mike's going to probably figure he's got a busted flush draw, so Han's probably going to have to make a perfect bet here for him to consider folding, and we'll show him the ace-5, Mike with the 2-pair with the ace kicker. Take some money off of on there, and C2 has been just crushing the game here in the early goings.
Probably just fold that hand pretty close.
61 hands, and we're still going strong. Reminder, tomorrow we will stream the featured table in the tournament, the $15K guaranteed, the re-entry tournament for $150. To a 25K starting stack with over 30-minute levels. Tournament starts at 12:30, but we'll stream our future table here for a few hours at 3. And our final table will be streamed live later on in the evening. So whatever plans you may have had for your Saturday, cancel them. TCHLive is going on. Or
Someone rewrite.
I'm sure your family, your significant other may understand. Exciting poker action. You can't miss this. But as always, you can check our replays here as they're uploaded to YouTube. There's a lot of subscribers here out of the early goings, and well, it's been a lot of fun here thus far. Man, we've got an army of players going to the flop. Let's try to figure out what everybody's got here. As Bruce with the best hand with a pair of aces with a king. Bryson's going to lead out for 50. Assuredly going to get called in one spot. Do not know what On's hand is, and Bruce will make the raise with the 2 spades on the board and potential straight draws, flush draws. Until we know what On has here, as we'll get out. Bryson now looking at a raise to 100 more with his pair of aces and some backdoor straight cards. But gonna need a 9 to get out in front of ace-king. Turn pairs and 8. Aces and 8s now for both players. Bruce with the best hand, though, with a king kicker. If Bryson maybe assumed that if he was raising with a flush draw, it got there, but he could probably take out his 8+ flush draw combos now as he tries to read the hand. And we're going to have a split pot. 8's full of aces. Bryson get a little lucky. And he's probably not going to get Bruce out of this pot, as they'll see, hey, you got an ace? I got an ace. We all got aces here. We're going to split this one up.
No, don't. Taco, please.
So we've talked a little bit about what's going on tomorrow against Sunday. The Mega Stack Tournament, a $100 buy-in and a $200 bounty on Chris Moneymaker. Just looking up that info right now. How many chips? They give you a 30. We give you a 30K start stack, an additional $10 appreciation, and late entry and re-entry allowed until level 7. So that should be a fun tournament. So if you're watching NFL playoffs, this is the place to be here this weekend. TVs all over the place. Sure, for all you sports gamblers, a good place to air your grievance out. There's really no place better if there's a whole lot of money being bet on a game to be here at TCH and something dramatic happens, because it's echoes throughout the room of, you idiot, what were you doing? And none of that's at me, but you get a big game on and people got your wagers on it, then it's a heck of a place to be. All right, On with the deceptive aces out of the big blind, seeing a raise up front. Puts in the old 3-bet up to 90. Bryson's going to call here with ace-10 of diamonds. Bruce also going to call here with 9-7. Moneymaker also along for the ride with the queen-deuce of clubs. And here we go. Ace is still in the lead. That's second pair here for Bruce and a 7 kicker. No pair, no draw here for Moneymaker outside of backdoor clubs, and Chris, not the kind of player who's going to be chasing that out of position. As On makes a flop bet at 350. Bryson will get out. And now Bruce. Put in that tricky spot here as... Okay, what did On possibly 3-bet here? And is there anything I can represent that if I call here, I'm obviously going to need a 9 or a 7 to feel really good about my hand, but if you... It's not really a bluff-catching hand in this instance. I'll just live the dream here tonight. There's stacks Moneymakers, kings early on, and picks up aces. There's Mount On, those chips there being stacked up as yeah, it's another 270 here all the night. The action continuing here as On now chipped up to about 5,700. Bruce right behind him. 3,700, so we've got 5 players on the table with over $3,000 in front of them. Whole lot of action happening here at Texas Card House. Mike gonna call one off the under the gun with 9-5 of clubs, and RSJ and race it up. King Jack offsuit. On's gonna call with his King 4 off. Phil says, "Oh, what the heck? Queen 7, good enough for me." We go 4 ways: Ace, Jack, 6, 2 diamonds. Nobody with an ace in their hand, as RSJ has got the best hand with a Jack and a King kicker. No draws for anybody. So he's got a stranglehold on this hand. He's going to check back. 5 of hearts here on the turn. Gives Mike bottom pair. But the check back induces a $50 bet from On here as he leads the turn. And Mike gives it up as CFRSJ. Going to raise it up here to 250, and I don't get a quick fold here from On at no pair, no draw, not much of anything, but just enough aggression to make you think. See his aggression frequency at 47%, Moneymaker's at 44. Have a lot of statistics at our disposal with this automated software that, and we'll learn more about how to incorporate all that. But
I see one of your biggest problems already. We'll talk about more.
let's move on here to the next hand at TCHLive. If you want to chat with us here in the chat box, we've had numerous people doing so here this evening. TCHLive on our YouTube channel. Kind of like Live at the Bike. I think we're hoping to be in that position where we have it on Twitch, we have it on YouTube, and it's kind of the fun part about it is you've got a smart TV, you got your phone, you got a tablet, your computer, all many different ways that you can tune in here to TCHLive. Try to make the opening raise here with Queen 10, and Phil calling out of the small blind with actually electing to give it up. Moneymaker had called with the Jack 8 offsuit, and now Bryson here with Ace 8 thinking about putting in a raise. Feel like anybody around him has much of a hand. There's a chance to pick up some free money. And he's going to put a 3-bet in. Looks like to over 180. Yep, they actually a little bit behind here as Moneymaker had made a flop bet to 35. And really with no pair, no draw, just ace high. Bryson with a savvy move and a check raise. Get some chips being sent back his way. New hand here says, again, if you want to follow along, TCH.ATX is our Instagram handle. Among the ways that you can follow along with what's going on at Texas Card House, we're also on Facebook by searching at Texas Card House. And if Twitter doesn't drive you crazy, it's a kind of an odd time to be on Twitter. It's either impending doom or rejoicefulness, depending on what side of the aisle you might be on. You can join us at Texas Card House. I believe TCH at ATX or Austin. You can also go to TexasCardHouse.com. We've got all sorts of ways you can reach us. Next hand, we've got a 3-bet coming from RSJ up to 60 with the ace-jack. Phil calls on the button with king-9 of hearts in position at Bryson. Ho, 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 here come the Cowboys. And we can say that because we can't say that about the Dallas Cowboys, who will not be in the playoffs. But these Cowboys, well, they are for real, as Bryson's going to make the 4th bet in, up to 200. But I don't think he's going to get much action behind unless RSJ decides that he maybe wants to call him in position. But Bryson's a solid enough player that'd be kind of a silly idea. So there's more chips coming back Bryson's way as we'll keep on moving. Yeah, my name is Mike Youngblood. You can follow me on Twitter at HoopsMike or on Instagram at HoopsMike. Try to keep it entertaining or just talk about sports, but yeah, I think this TCHLive thing is going to be discussed a lot more. I'll give you some more whatever poker insights I have, which
You're the feature. They just put it up on the top.
we thank you for joining us wherever you may be.
It's a brand new strength. This is the first time they're doing it. We get 3 or 4 of them. They're on 3 or 4 tables.
Well, the raise here from seat 9 as Bruce and Judd both getting out of the way.
I passed one coming in. It was
Yanni had to race it up here with the ace-jack of clubs. Phil going to call in the cutoff for 20. Bryson on the button, also going to tag along here to this ride with queen, deuce of spade as flop comes 7-5 deuce, open-ended straight draw for Mike, second pair for Judd, bottom pair here for Bryson, and it goes check bet. Actually, Mike, excuse me, is going to lead with this open-ended straight draw, showing some new aggression as this session has worn on. And here with the open-ender is changing gears up a little bit. I like it. Now, Bryson's got a pair. And he's going to look him up here in position to see what the turn brings him. Another 5, board pairs. Now, does Bryson believe that Mike would have bet with a 7 or a 5? I think he believes that he doesn't. And he's going to make a turn bet of about 125. And I think Mike's going to call him here and try to see if he can get lucky. He's got 10 outs to make his hand. Will he do it? It's a 9. 5-9 straight here for Mike. Is he going to bet here? He will, but it's probably going to be a little too much, a little too rich for Bryson's blood as he leads out 400. Because if we put him on a draw here, well, if he's got 9-8 or obviously 8-6 as he sees, you know, there's a lot of hands that can beat his bottom pair. But yeah, I don't hate how Bryson played that whatsoever. Try to see if he could take a card off. When it got checked to him, he made a bet, got some more information on the hand, and just so happened it got a little unlucky that the 9 peeled off on the river. As Mike mixing it up here quite a bit. Wow, we've got 68 hands here on TCHLive. Right now, I believe we've got, Jordan's asking, I believe we have 2 other 5-5 no limit games going on here tonight. I've got like 2 other 1-3s. Just trying to get that information updated and reloaded. As last look, we had just about 100 players in the room here at Texas Card House tonight. As Friday night amongst our busiest nights and a whole lot of action here. As Yanni had raised it up to 20, got called in 3 spots. Mike with the best hand with ace-king on the button, electing not to 3-bet. And the flop's going to come out at king 8-6. The pair and a flush draw for on. Second pair for Yanni. And it'll be on leading the way with a bet of 80 on the flop and into a pot of 90. So, I mean, as we paid attention to his bet sizing, he has tended to go against the grain of what you talk a lot of people in poker about, a small ball percentage of the pot. Like, I mean, he's coming out with a hammer. And now here with Bryson, we're not able to detect his cards, but he's coming in here for a raise of 100 more. So I'm starting to wonder maybe he has king queen, or don't think he's obviously got spades. I don't think he's going to raise with a draw. So either a chance maybe he's got a set of 6s. Maybe he could have king 8. I feel like it's more likely he may have king queen or king jack than he would in the spot. As of right now, it is a bit of a mystery. So you can play along at home. What does Bryson have here, folks? As a turn comes to 7. More outs here for on, as he's going to pick up a straight draw to go along with his flush draw on his bottom pair of 6s. Bryson with about 780 left. The pot's grown to 630. Again, we don't know exactly what his hands. His hand's not quite over the reader enough, and
Cheater!
you can't blame him. He's probably getting an excellent massage here. That see so many players that do get one that tend to fall asleep on the table, and he's going to make a bet up here to 350. Mike in position, going to call him quickly here with top pair and top kicker. And On's got a big enough hand, like he can't get away from this. Like this is, the board has come out about as good as you can ask for, and he's got enough chips that it's worth it to call.
He lost his phone. That's convenient.
Pot has ballooned up here to $1,700. Bryson's only got about $430 left, and the river's going to come at 3. So Bryson's got a good hand. I'm expecting he's shoving the river. Bonds.
I mean, with Joe,
Gonna make a check here.
pretty clear.
Will Bryson make a move? He's got 4:30 left.
I heard he was trying to play back in there again. I really haven't heard that. If he would have called me.
And I think if he does, like, I think he might have a set of eights, but
I don't even know my number. If we lost
again, his hand was not necessarily read by the card reader, so it's just me guessing here at this point. He's going to move in, or he's going to, yeah, he will make an all-in bet. I assume Mike's going to call, and then we will find the answer to the trivia question of what's in Bryson's hand, brought to you by TCHLive. Could make that a new game show segment here for you guys.
leaving my house to go there. How was
He, there also is that possibility he also has the same ace-king, but I just feel like with a board like that, Bryson's not making a move unless he has something pretty darn good. And I'm going to guess it might be a set of sixes or eights just based on the way he played the flop. On thinking, lamenting the fact that he could not hit this hand. And he's going to muck, so he'd most likely had king queen or king jack. And he could have put Mike there on a flush draw, but Azan's going to show him he's the one that had the flush draw, and this has been as tough a session you can ask here for Bryson. Is called down by the best hand, and Mike's moving his chips all the way up to 5,200. Just ahead of On, and
I get a brush to 11.
as we move closer here to the end of the night, I think we're expected to stream up until about 10 or 10:30. I think 4 hours was our estimated time to continue here with our live stream of TCHLive tonight. Again, it's the TCH Celebrity Poker Series featuring Chris Moneymaker. 5-5 and 1-3 no limit hold'em games going tonight. We've got 1-2-5 PLO. Well, why don't we check in here on the numbers as far as how many players we've got in the house here at our North Austin location. Yeah, we've got 2-5-5 no limit with bomb pots. Tables going right now, and 1-5-5 that you see there on your screen without bomb pots. So Moneymaker back to work. This will race up to 25. Now Bruce here out of the small blind. Just going to smooth call with his ace-king. Now Judd with ace-queen as well. Mike had called with the king-6 offsuit, riding the waves of a precious heater. And we will go three ways. Queen 9-3. Checked all the way around. Turn comes a king. 3 players connect with their king. Bruce has got the best hand with an ace kicker. Also got the ace of hearts blocker as well. Moneymaker's got top pair and an inside straight draw to a 10. And Mike has got king X. Gonna need a 6 if he wants to win the hand. Moneymaker gonna need a jack or a 10 and no dice. Best hand here for Bruce, and he'll bet for value of 150 here on the end. And certainly Moneymaker's gonna look him up. I wonder if Mike will get out of the way and lay it down. And Bruce has run pretty good here in this session. Had quads earlier, had quad 8s against Moneymaker's over pair of 10s on an 8-8. I think it was like 7-6-3 board, and 2 volunteer fans going at it.
You had the last game, huh?
On the basketball side, Tennessee had a nice run. On the football side, there's a lot of volunteer fans in agony. So both UTs, University of Texas and University of Tennessee, they can all share the same story of not quite where they want to be at this time of the year, but still looking up here for the University of Texas. But very nice win against Utah out of the Alamo Bowl and New Year's Eve. RSJ going to race it up here to 20. Moneymaker will call with the Queen 8 of Hearts. Mike only going to call here with his 9s. Here in late position, Bruce also kind of speculate here with the 5-3 of clubs. And a flop. 10-6-4, open-ender here for Bruce on the button. Top pair here for Judd. And he'll bet 40. RSJ going to call with some overs and backdoor diamonds. Moneymaker with that much here, and says he'll take a card off as well. Mike now with his 9s, the second best hand. Drawn pretty slim as Bruce now thinking about making a move. He's going to raise. He's going to raise it up to 160. RSJ or Moneymaker really can't call. Mike might be able to if he's feeling frisky. He either doesn't believe it or just more than willing to gamble to see another card. So
Your set must be higher than mine.
gonna need a deuce or a 7. Board pairs 4s. Good news for Mike as he's got 2 pair. Bruce gonna continue along with the story as quick bet to 200 and a quick call from Mike. He's got 6 wins, 6 outs, and the ace is not going to be one of them, but see if he can fool Mike as a bluff card, because kisses those chips goodbye. You know, Mike's a little perplexed here. Okay, so he goes bet, bet, call, 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 and then a raise. And then the ace, just enough of a scare card that, you know, say that Bruce was kind of messing around, that he had like an ace-6 or
He tells the truth all the time.
any kind of combo hand there. I just can't think of many that he could make a move with there with an ace in his hand. So unless Mike really thought, okay, maybe he already had ace-10 and I was already beat, then.
James. Yeah. They can put Jimmy on there. I don't know.
But you and I, we both have the easy route to analyze that, so we can see all the cards. So I am not here to cast any stones by any stretch, but it was a really interesting one to kind of think about, and I think for our players too, it's going to give them an opportunity to look at themselves in the mirror after some of these games, and you know, for the vloggers that for a lot of their material, this has to be done through their own camera. So if they want to do hand breakdowns, all of a sudden it's a little easier method to compile all of that content. So I'm looking forward to seeing who else we get into this into our cash game here in the future. So it looks like we've got a new player here to the left of Chris Moneymaker. You can only tell by their hands, and so I don't know who that is yet, but it's going to be Jimmy. Welcome, Jimmy, here to the 5-5 game. Moneymaker calls the 5-4 offsuit. Again, that was the hand that he did actually win the 2003 main event, and it's flop 2 pair against Sammy Farha, that epic battle back in 2003, and back when the main event was still at Binion's. It's kind of a cool place to check out if you're want to check out some of the past main event winners that they have profiled there at the room in Binion's. But all right, here we go. 5 players, 9 high flop with 2 spades. Moneymaker with second pair. Steve with top pair with a 9. And well, who's got the best hand here? As RSJ has the highest percentage of winning here with his 10-8 of spade, and he's going to call. Steve had let off with his top pair. It's been kind of quiet as of late. Got off to a hot start. And either hasn't gotten a ton of hands to play or is just kind of hunkered down. And Moneymaker's going to raise up here to 5-4. You know, RSJ's only got about 1,400. Reminds you a little bit of that bluff. You know, when they went heads up with Farha, that was considered the bluff of the century. Moneymaker was able to get Farha to throw away top pair. On a 9 high board with Queen 9, he gets another one of his opponents to do so yet again. As the lead now turns a straight draw to a 3. That improves RSJ's hand, though, as now he can make a 7 for a higher straight. And his 10 and 8 are still live. Moneymaker with a bet of 400. Gonna need some dodge, some cards. And to the river, it's an ace. Moneymaker's got the best hand with a pair of 5s. A flush draw misses, a straight draw misses. And I wonder if it's going to go check here. RSJ's going to move at the pot. He's going to shove all in. Bet of over 735. Plenty out there for Moneymaker to look at and go, there's a lot of hands that beat me here. 7-8 beats me, a pair of 9s beats me, 6s. And RSJ playing this like maybe he had a hand like ace-7 of spades where, you know, he can call the re-raise because he's got a nut flush draw. And Chris is trying to piece together the story of, okay, can my 5s be good here? And the only scenario I think he can make is that RSJ has the hand that he has, and the ace on the river, a perfect betting opportunity here for RSJ, and gonna add 880 more chips here to a stack. It's a tough session here for Moneymaker as he ran his kings into ace-king into on, to a huge 3-way all-in pot on, scooping it with ace-king. It just hasn't been able to get much going early on, but I think he's still going to be playing for a while tonight, so still plenty of room for him to have some fun and try to make some money back here in the cash game. Up, unmuted right there. So Moneymaker in the lead with some 6s. Going to bet on the 4-deuce-deuce flop. And we'll take a small pot after. It's Been a kind of tough one for Chris. Just hasn't quite really been able to get into a rhythm in this game. As it's run into some hands. There's players that have had just better opportunities to make stabs at it, and luck not also in his favor. But really got to hand it there to RSJ in the last hand where either correctly put Moneymaker on a 5 or a 9 or some kind of hand that was susceptible to the draw and then was able to represent an ace on the river to get Moneymaker to fold, even though we saw that he had the best hand. Our next hand here is I'm going to raise it up with 10-7 offsuit. Mike here with ace-7 of diamonds will call. Moneymaker with a mystery hand here at this point as we go to our flop. All hearts, flop flush here for Judd. Depending on what Chris has. Judd with a near lock on the hand, but 2 pair here, top and bottom for Mike. And a bet and now a raise. I'm going to get out of the way here with a second pair. It eliminates one of his outs for Mike. Turn, going to come a jack of hearts. Terrible card here for Judd, even though we see that his flush is still good. And check, check. Turn, the river comes a queen. And flush still good here for Judd, even though for a nasty turn card of the jack of hearts. 5 of hearts in his hand, still good for the flush, and he'll take down a small pot.
He was laughing and he run so fast.
$100 out there.
I never have a bet to do that.
Now we'll continue here with our 5-5 no limit, our 74th hand of action. Here at our TCHLive, a featured table. Again, join us tomorrow at 3 o'clock for the featured table of our tournament. And then the final table later on in the evening. We're going to have to rest up tonight. There's a lot of talking here for poker. A limp pot, Moneymaker, going to bump it up on the button with 9-8 offsuit.
Game over.
And everybody folds as they get out of the way. For Team Poker Stars Pro, you can follow Chris on Twitter at CMoneymaker. Check out his Instagram at CMoneyM21. I want to ask Chris about his dogs. I want to know how many dogs he has. And got a nice picture of a very cute puppy who I wish I could hug, but fortunately lives out in Nashville.
I didn't see the tweet.
He's a Knoxville, Tennessee native, a graduate of the University of Tennessee, and inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame, or at least named to it, here in 2019, and deservedly so for his impact here on the game.
It's been a busy day on Twitter, though. Rob Young copied me in a post.
Just hasn't quite been able to catch many cards, and
Yeah, he tagged me in it, so like his opinion on how to grow the game.
sets maybe Chris feeling a little bit tired at this point, but
Now I'm in the thread.
that's kind of the tough thing about some of these cash game players is, sometimes it's your day and sometimes it's not, and just kind of how you can respond. The guys that really do well are the most level-headed players. They don't get too down on themselves, and they know when to quit, and they know if they've had too much for that day that, hey, I'm not playing my A+ game, or I'm not playing even my C game right now. It's better to get up and go away than to try to force the action some more. But I don't think Chris is at that point yet, and So here we go. Turn comes a 4 of spade. Now an inside straight draw for Yanni and a flush draw. On has technically got the best hand with Jack 9. And I think he might think he's making a semi-bluff here, but Yanni needs a spade or a 5, or else he can make it 8-7. So he's got 12 outs, since we can see our card reader telling us which of those cards are not available up there on the top of your screen. River comes an ace of spades. Flush here for Yanni. John on with nothing but Jack high. And unless Yanni can make a bet that forces on to make a bluff at this, I don't think he's going to get many chips off him, but we'll see if he tries. And the bet here on the end, and on will get out of the way.
Let him get there, Chris. Okay. Throw him the bluff.
You can join us here in the chat box here on YouTube. Talked about it a bit here tonight that if you show that you have subscribed to our TCHLive show, it's a free hour here at Texas Card House.
What hand was it?
You got it, right?
Jack 6 offsuit, something else.
Unless I have been sorely mistaken, but I believe that information is correct. New hand 76 here for 5-5 game. Haven't seen a whole lot of straddles, so I thought we might see more of that here in this game. But, you know, Hart, who was in the cash game earlier, was really the only one here out of seat 3 and 4 that was putting a $10 straddle in. But we'll have Bruce raise it up with everybody's favorite Jack 6 of spades. Moneymaker here with 10-9 of hearts, and he surely is going to take a flop with it. Phil will get out of the way here with his queen 9 as we will go to on a 3-bet side of the small blind with ace king. See if we'll fold to 6-5. Bruce going to call with Jack 6 of spades, and Moneymaker here the third wheel and in the best position with his 10-9 of hearts. Flop, ace 7-4. Top pair for on, nobody with anything else. And I think if on knew that, he'd probably slow down and let everybody try to catch up. But Bruce is going to make a raise here to 250. Throw what I said out the window here as I'm trying to get a feel as to what Bruce is making his move with. Does he want to make a third bet in here at this point, or there is also the small chance maybe Bruce's cards aren't being read correctly, so I at least want to open up that scenario, but a very bold and courageous flop raise, and on not going to mess around. He's going to 3-bet here to 960. Bruce is thinking, I'm not sure what for, but kind of play it up here as to not let his opponents know that he's been caught in a cookie jar and with his hand in there, and says, you know what, partner, you can take those chips if you really want them that bad. And, that's a good guy. He's going to show him that he had the best hand all along, though I doubt that Bruce, that he thought that on was bluffing him, but you see our VPIP, a voluntary amount of chips put in play. Mike has certainly splashed around the most, involved with about 50% of the time. And he's hit a couple of hands. You know, he hit quads. Wasn't able to get as much action, even though there was 2 players with pocket pairs in the hand. On there 45% of the time. Moneymaker in there 44% of the time that he's voluntarily put money in the pot. And Judd can come out raising here with a pair of 9s. Oris Jade makes a call. And Phil also here with his 4s. Here in the cutoff. Don't know what On has here. All right, he's got King 8 of hearts, so we will go 6 players to a flop. Queen 6-5 with 2 hearts. On's got a King high flush draw. Judd has got the best hand with a pair of 9s. Mike has got bottom pair with a 5, but On's also got an overcard here that he can make the best hand with a king. Mike's going to see if he can get lucky here. And the turn comes with 4. No use for any player. Judd's not going to slow down, though. He's going to make about a third the size of the pot bet of 100. And an easy call here for On. And a gambling call here by Mike as we go to the river. Here it comes. Jack. Judd still got the best hand. Check, 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 and see if Han makes a move. 6-15 out there. I think if he bets somewhere in the neighborhood of 425, he could probably get both these players to fold, but he's going to bet 325. I didn't see it, but I had a feeling that kind of sizing would scare away a pair of 9s. And On as scorching hot as the sun right now as get some money back into his stack. He's up to 5,800 here on this evening. Come on, boys. The straddles are encouraged here at TCH. Especially with the kind of 5-5 players we get. We usually see a little bit more, but I think the action on the table has been certainly good enough that nobody's felt the huge need to, but see Moneymaker with about 2,000 in chips. Just hasn't picked up a lot of hands here today. And Judd would make the opening race. A King 10 will get called by 5s, Jack 10, 8-7, a pair of 3s, and Steve going to give up his Queen 4 offsuit, and we will go to a flop with 5 players to it. And 105 total in the middle before we see the first 3. Here comes Ace, 9, King, all spades. Phil with the only one a spade in his hand, but it's a 5 of spades. Judd with the best hand with a pair of kings. Checked around to get an 8 on the turn. It gives an open-ended straight draw here to On. As expected, he's going to make a little jab at it. About a 5th of the size of the pot. Not a huge punch, but little jabs here and there. And that should clear the field as Mike has got a pair of 8s. Board pairs a king here on the river. On missed. Mike has not been afraid to call light, but going to go for the overbet, and he's going to get Mike to fold his better hand, though. The board scary enough that the decision was pretty easy there for Mike. I think that, okay, that's a lot out there. But On gets the better hand to fold. think our stream's going to wrap up in about 20 minutes, a half hour or so. So I invite you again, any questions, comments that you want to make in the box. I want to hear your takes here in the chat box here on YouTube. Again, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandparents, subscribe here at TCHLive on 4 players now, some nice hands, some drawing hands, a pair of 9s for Jimmy. Flop's going to come Queen Jack 10. Second pair here for Bruce and open-ended for Judd. Jimmy out there with a pair of 9s. And Jimmy does not like that. You guys remember that Seinfeld episode where that one guy, Jimmy, just kept speaking in the first person? Let's check to Jimmy, and Jimmy's going to bet. Because Jimmy likes his 9s. There's a bet at 55. Bruce, actually with the best hand, is going to give it up. Yanni here with a gut shot straight draw. Also in the mix, he'll get out and put the open-ender here for Judd. All right, we'll go to the turn. A turn comes a king. Judd's made the best hand, and he still has an open-ended straight draw. It does give Jimmy a gut shot out, and he's going to continue firing. Very lackadaisical call by Judd there with the top pair. Jimmy's going to need a 9 or a 10. He will not get it. It will be a queen. And this still may be a good enough card here for Jimmy to try to make a move at that. Okay, he's bet the flop. He's bet the turn. As we can see, Judd has the best hand of kings, and he will slow down, and Jimmy nods accordingly as we'll have kings and queens with a jack. The best hand, and Judd will add 220 more to his stack. Again, the action will continue. We are open 24 hours a day here on the weekend at Texas Card House. A lot of players here enjoying their Friday night with us here at our TCH North Austin location. 101 players, 4 players in the 1-2 no limit game, 2 in the 1-3 no limit, 1 in the 5. We've got our 5-5 featured table going on. Elsewhere, we've got 1-2-5, pot limit Omaha, and 5-5 no limit with bomb pots. 2 tables. So, Moneymaker raising it up with 7-4 diamonds. Jimmy 3-betting here with the ace-jack. Now Phil's got a real hand. The double J. 2 jacks in the hole. And Bruce on the button here with king-queen thinking about it. And that's a value position here. Judd's thinking about giving up this hand because he's out of the small blind, and Bruce here on the button thinks it's an opportune time and a chance here for Moneymaker to gamble. Oh, he's going to do more than just gamble, folks. He's going to bump it up.
I got a brush to 11.
And I don't know if frustration is setting in or maybe he senses weakness. Surely thinks Jimmy couldn't have 3-bet him with much, but... And this is where it works out really well for Phil's smooth call before the flop. This doesn't become an easy decision, so... Yeah, Phil's got about 1,800 in front. Stuck a little bit earlier before the stream started. Oh, he's going to give it up! He's going to give it up. What a bet by Chris Moneymaker.
I just want to use tip chips, damn it.
Phil will get a little chuckle out of that, knowing he folded the best hand, but I got to hand it to Chris. Like, not many guys I know that would make that bet there with 7-4 diamonds. And then a night where not a whole lot has gone very well for him. Nice play there by Chris to get some better hands to fold.
What? I'm just curious.
81st hand here with the stream.
I want to see if I was right on the turn.
In our first edition of TCH Live, a lot of really nice comments. I thank you for all the compliments from the folks there on the chat box who've come up and said hello. Love you guys. You're terrific. Pleasure to be here for Texas Card House, repping our friends, our co-workers, our managers, our owners, all the people here that make this run as smoothly as it does every day. And if you haven't been here for a while, hey, we accept you. Come on back. And give us a look up here at Texas Card House here in North Austin. Moneymaker had wrapped up his road to the PSPC Tour, trips around to Russia, to run it up in Reno, to London, Newcastle, and Ireland, and Hollywood, Florida. And kind of nice life because come here to Austin to hang out with us. All right, flop comes 7-6-4-4. Here on the turn, top pair for on. Bruce has also got a pair and a straight draw. Yanni with the best hand with a pair of jacks. Gets called in both spots. Turn comes an ace. Yanni doesn't like that card as Bruce gonna check behind as we'll go to the river. Action tracker catching up here as again the ace on the turn as Bruce with the open-ended straight draw, pair of sevens. River comes an ace. Jacks and aces here for Yanni. And gonna try to see if he can induce a bet, and nobody's biting for it. Jacks and aces is gonna be good. Sage and Brendan roasting Phil. Phil's a good guy, but I think even he's probably going to shake his head at himself for folding jacks pre-flop. But and I think it was maybe just the size that Moneymaker had made with the 7-4 at diamonds that may have just thrown him off. That after the 3-bet by Jimmy to 75, that okay, maybe Chris isn't playing around, but Chris doing a nice job changing gears and very, very aggressive. And I promise, folks, I will not try to make too many Rounders references. Will not try to make too many Kenny Rogers references. You know, if I do, and you see me, you're allowed to punch me in the arm. So we're going to try not to quote Kenny Rogers ever, unless we're going to the danger zone. So 7-4 deuce, 2 diamonds, open-ended straight draw for Moneymaker. Diamond flush draw and queen high for Mike. Bet and a call here by Moneymaker with the open-ended straight draw. Can also make a hand with a 6 or a 5. Gets the old Cinco on the Rio here for 75, and Mike will lay it down. Speaking of Rio, visit our TCH Rio Grand Valley location down in Edinburgh, 403 West Trenton Road. Follow them on Instagram at tch.rgv.
Well, there's not one. I was asking if we want to do one time, but they got a couple objections.
It's only a single board.
I know.
As we continue on here in our 30-minute delay. On, going to raise it up to 25 here with Queen 8 of spade. Mike says, sure, King 3, I'm in. Steve also in the mix here with Queen Jack off suit. Now Yanni with Ace King, and I feel like we've got a raise coming. Gonna grab 5 green chips and raise it up to 125. 100 more. See how many players go away. Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah.
Gonna speculate here with the 8-5.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna get them, but I'm gonna come after them.
Steve also gonna come along here with the Queen Jack as we will go 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes King 5-4. Top pair for Yanni, second pair for Moneymaker. Nobody with much of anything else. Checked over to Yanni here in suit 9. His last act. And he'll toss in, I believe that is a 9 chips, so that's a $225 bet. But don't expect On will give a little grimace and muck his hand, and that should be that. Reminder to y'all, if you're just tuning in, our 15K guaranteed prize pool re-entry tournament tomorrow at 150, starting at 12:30. 25K starting stack, 30-minute levels. Feature table on TCH. Going to be on TCHLive at 3 o'clock tomorrow, and also with our final table. Not sure if we're going to get any color commentators for this yet, or if it's still going to be me in your eardrums. Here for it, but no, I'm looking forward to it. Tournaments are a lot more my expertise than the cash games. So it's huge opportunity for us, and we thank you for subscribing, watching, liking. Judd gonna raise it up here with ace-4 offsuit. Phil's gonna call out of the big blind with king-9, and we will go heads up to the flop. Flop comes 9, a 5, a 4 with 2 clubs. Top pair here for Phil. Bottom pair. And a sloppy bet here by Judd. As a dealer, I always love when people apologize for it, because there's a race up to 100 by Phil with the best hand. Expect, Judd with the way he's playing is probably going to get out, but you might think about it here. And he's going to call. We'll go here to the turn. Turn comes a 5. 9s and 5s. And Phil's going to continue.
That's why that hand bothered me. That's why I wanted to see.
We keep on moving. Action winding down here for our live stream, but the action in the main room going to continue here all throughout the evening.
Now I'm pissed off, by the way. I got 2 now.
Moneymaker going to 3-bet here with the queen 10 of diamonds. RSJ is trying to get his hand read as his ducks. Flop comes ace, king, 8, 2 clubs. And it's going to be a look away here for a moment to update some of our info.
So, Chris, what are you going to do after the 10 o'clock when the stream ends? You going to go play another game?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Depends on if you're here.
Moneymaker had made that continuation bet there with queen 10 of diamonds and was able to take down the pot.
So if I'm here, you don't have to leave, you know? I can leave.
I honestly haven't thought about that far in advance in my life.
Here we go. Is Judd going to raise it with a 9-7 of hearts?
My new life goal is just to. Oh, sorry.
It's going to get called here by RSJ with a king 5 suited. And now Phil going to come with a 3-bet in position with the raise to 85. And Brendan, you know, we got some comments here on how the cameras work, and we'll get to that here as we move along with the action. As Judd going to call the 9-7, 9-7 versus Ace Queen and Ace Queen.
Crazy. Are they playing a game in there right now?
That's quotation only. That is.
They're going to come 6-4-3.
Quotation only game. That's pretty good.
Gut shot here for Judd.
What's the game in there?
Ace Queen with the both best hand.
Yeah, it's not crazy. It's
scared the heck out of it. 5-10 or 10-25?
And a bet here at 175. Here by Phil.
I don't know, like $14,000, you know, push all in. Like that.
Steve has got Ace Queen of clubs. Maybe senses that Phil may just have a hand like Ace King, and he's going to pop it up for a raise up to 425.
510 and then 500.
It's not much Phil can do here, unless he really wants to make the spaz 4-bet all in. I think he's probably going to get out of the way, but while that happens, again, you know, Kevin talking about the split screen that we have, and you know how all this works is that the action tracker works side by side with the production team as far as it follows the action as we update that from like the tablet that we use. So, wow, Phil called him here. And we're going to get a shove all in with Ace Queen. And we've talked about it a bit on the test streams that, you know, whenever you get two guys that have the same hands, it just tends to be whoever the aggressor is tends to take down the pot. But back to our sidebar as far as how the cameras work here with this is that it's reading off of the action tracker. So if it knows that it's currently seat 8's action, it's going to automatically pinpoint to it. And if it knows that, you know, we're heads up and it's, you know, Chris Moneymaker and on, you can, it automatically does it that way. So it's really, really fascinating. And gives us a really super high production value. And Brennan Kaufman suggesting GTO on should be the name. Yeah, very game theory optimal. So try to make sense of some of the stats that we've seen. Pre-flop aggression, the VPIP. And I think as we go on, we'll understand, you know, just how to incorporate all those. RSJ now with a raise here on seat number 10 with ace 10 of hearts. Moneymaker now with a pair of nines, going to 3-bet it here to 85. Or actually, that may have been Jimmy that had. Okay, I think I understand what's going on here. So, all right, we've got 4 players.
First time,
So our action tracker catches up
Like the
here.
stream again?
So I think
Put your number in my phone.
we're rereading the hands here through the action tracker. So that's what we're getting towards here. Is we should see a flop here momentarily. JD is going to bring it in. He's done a terrific job behind the box. If you see him, toss a little $1 tip chip into his box to thank him for his work tonight. He and James especially have been terrific. Production team with Carolyn, Enrique, Ryan, everybody here with a helping hand in this. Chris also involved. So a lot of people to thank. Flop's going to come King Jack 9 though before we can do any of that. Don't know exactly what Steve's hand has. Jimmy going to bet here with Ace 5 of clubs. Going to lead right into the belly of the beast. Moneymaker with 9s, RSJ with an overcard and a straight draw. Suit does not fit him. But now Moneymaker here with bottom set, excuse me. And I think if he knew Jimmy's hand, he'd play this a lot slower, but unless Jimmy wants to call to try to make a move on a later street, any hope of getting in here with Ace 5 of clubs is optimistic at best. But he's thinking about it. Gonna try his hand at outplaying the 2003 main event champion, and Moneymaker has got a perfect hand to induce a trap. And an ace here on the turn. Bad news now for Jimmy as Chris leads. Can't be fearing too many hands at this point. It's like if he would have had a straight, is he going to play it that way? If he already had 2 pair, is he going to play it that way? And he's going to call here behind. 2,100 in the pot here as we go to the river. Moneymaker a sure lock, but a scary board as a queen of diamonds comes out. And Moneymaker going to beat him to the punch and shove all in here for 1,300. And unless Jimmy's cards are wrong, Chris going to bet with the best hand and win and get some more chips back his direction. And he shows only 1. Oh, Chris. A couple more hands left of our live stream here on TCH. Before we wrap up, here is. A couple of battles here in the chat box as to who's the biggest nit. I think I might have you beat, guys. I don't know. At least that's what I want you to think. So, all right, hand 88. That's going to be RSJ with a pair of kings. Standard opening raise up to 20. Moneymaker calls. On going to come along here with king 10 of clubs. Mike also in there with ace 5 of spade.
Yeah.
See if Bruce, who's Been kind of quiet as of late. It splashed around a lot of pots, made some big plays. Also coming in here with Queen and Jack of Spade as we go 6 ways to the flop. King's out in the lead. And it comes Queen, 6 Queen. Bruce with 3 of a kind. Trouble looming here for RSJ here with $2,100 in front of him as he will c-bet to 150. About a half a size bet of the pot. Or excuse me, just about a pot size bet. And he's going to get called by Bruce here with the best hand.
Last hand of the night.
Going to need a king. Here to pull back ahead. And that's a king! Whew. Here we go. Is Bruce going to play this fast? As he kisses those chips goodbye as appropriately as
Just not the 3 of hearts.
either feels like he's either out-kicked or... So 3 of a kind queens, but king's full. And he's going to lead, and disaster right around the corner, and its name is King's Full. Bet at 300. I bet he makes it probably like 8. What is he going to make it here? No, it makes it about 9. It makes it three times the last bet, so... I have a hard time believing Bruce is going to be able to lay this hand down because I think maybe RSJ is trying to maybe value bet with ace king. He could have a busted straight draw between your ace 10, ace jack, jack 10 combos. Maybe he could have a queen with a worse laydown because I think you could have met a lot of other players who would have lost more money on a hand like that, but. As you see, the number of hands that have gone to showdown, pretty normal percentages for the most part.
I was surprised when I saw the queen. I was like, hell no, this guy's not folding fucking queens.
It's too good. Now you're on tilt.
Jimmy has not played in the session for very long, so it's 33%. The relative small sample size. Everybody else kind of around the 20%.
Triples? Doubles?
One triple for 1,000.
One triple for 1,000. What do you want, red or black?
And hand 89
You have yourself a
here on TCH Live.
Can I have red though? Can I have red though?
Jimmy going to raise it up to 20.
Yeah, I'll take red.
I'll tack on $5 more. Raise up to 25. Is Mike going to call with the pair of 8s? The Snowmen.
So 300.
A couple of 9ers here for Bruce. And King Jack also here in the mix. I think Moneymaker had called. We'll rescan his hand and we'll see as he unveils the queen and deuce of spade. Also try to figure out what Steve's hand is.
Is that a red? No! Check. You owe me $300 by
Flop's gonna come ace queen a 6. Top pair here for Jimmy. Lead out of bet here of 55. Mike's gonna call him. Here with his 8s, Bruce with the 9s will give it up. And Moneymaker gonna come along and gamble here. Calls with second pair and no kicker. Turn, it comes to 4. Still the best hand here for Jimmy. Gave up probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,000 to Moneymaker when Chris had a flop set. And
this guy's riding home back to Memphis by himself. What's he doing?
And we'll take this one down.
Hey, pay my $300, please, sir.
Again, our schedule, we've talked about it a bit.
No, we're nothing.
Here again, a 15K guaranteed re-entry tournament tomorrow starting at 12:30 $150 re-entry, 25K starting stack. Okay.
I'll take black. What? I'll take black.
Well, this looks like it's going to be the last hand of action here for the night. Here on our live stream here of TCH.
Triple?
Okay. Wait a second. Okay, this. We're rounding third and heading for home. We've not quite crossed home plate, and there we are as we wrap things up. Again, a reminder of our schedule on tomorrow. The 15K guaranteed re-entry tournament, 12:30. The feature table will start streaming at about 3 o'clock, since that will be on a 30-minute delay. Also Sunday, the No Limit Hold'em Mega Stack, $100 buy-in with a $200 bounty and T-shirt. And for you Omaholics out there, if you can't get enough Omaha, come on here Monday. Moneymaker hosting a 5-5 PLO game. Then on Tuesday at 2-5, Big O game, the mixed limit cash game. So, if you missed Chris here tonight, you can still hang out with us here at Texas Card House here in North Austin. And give us a visit. Again, like, click, and subscribe. We thank you so much for joining us. It was a memorable first edition of TCHLive. We have hit the ground running, and we thank you for joining us here of our 5-5 No Limit Cash game featuring 2003 main event champion Chris Moneymaker. I want to thank everybody for commenting. To our excellent production crew, for our first run here tonight, just did an outstanding job. And thanks to the viewers like you for making this happen. And we hope to continue to grow this as we start 2020 off on the right foot here on TCHLive. All right, good night, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Feature table, 15K guaranteed. Good night, everybody.